Hello there, Azrael. How you doing? Doing great. We feel somewhat happy. Happiness comes from your life's work, your purpose in life. And with it looks like Jose Garcia might not be with us tonight. We just got a feeling he's at a convention, and our suspicion is he might have forgotten about today's interview, or he might be running late. We're not sure which. Fortunately, even Azrael's powers to read minds is limited. You can read emotions, but not minds. And as with all things, communication is key to a great many things. But even if Josie arrives, great. But we did make a vow. We don't do promises, we do actions. Is that right, Azrael? Well, let us see, shall we? What we're going to do is, we've said that if any creator can't make it, a one-off thing can happen. You forget, you're busy doing convention, or you might be running late. We've had one guy that, because of the time differences, the time zone differences with the daylight saving time in America and Britain, didn't turn up until about halfway. Was it about an hour in? And when he sent his apologies via our DMs, we said, no problem. We've been waiting for you. Come join us, So Azrael has vast reserves of patience. As long as there's grace with it, as long as when the communication happens, it's done with grace, good communication skills, and good manners, So our vow was, if a creator can't make it, we'll give him a few minutes. Well, if any of the chat turns up and has a little of a hello with us, we'll do a bit of chat with the chat guests. And we've done that before. We had a full hour chat with Crenshaw and a good many other people in the chat winner last time. If it's just us, we're going to get on with the presentation in a few minutes. And we think we like the look of Van Fleur. It's a very visually interesting, almost like a Spanish meets Japan type of manga, almost like a continental kind of manga in vibe. We backed it. We backed the digital version. And we'd like to look through the presentation, even if Jose Garcia doesn't make it. In fact, we'll get on. Why not? Let's do it. Let's be a gentleman of our word, shall we? Actions speak louder than words, of course. So here we go. We've got a little prelude. We thought we'd include a bit of poetry from now on. Don't worry, it's not going to be war and peace, but it's just a little thought for the day. So this is a prelude to our show. The older you get, the more you realize that it isn't about the material things or pride or ego. It's about our hearts and who they beat for. Right then, the 5 pillars of storytelling live: art, comics, movies, games, and toys. Azrael, hopefully speaking to Jose Garcia, but if we're not, we're going to honor him in his absence and promote his work where it takes an hour or 2 hours to do, because that's what we do at the 5 pillars of storytelling. We try to take the positive high road. We're not doormats. We don't put up with rude behavior or bad manners. We have a friendly chat, no swearing or drama. We know what we mean by those things, but we like to keep the drama about what's happening inside the comics and focus on the indie creators and indie comics, and we're just doing our bit to just help grow the community. Speaking of valued followers who's been with us at the 5 pillars of storytelling since the beginning, really, is Bianca Yamakoshi, who wields blade in the Tothian school of thought. Gothic noir it is. We dubbed that ourselves, and I think Bianca Yamakoshi quite liked the term Gothic noir, and we decided to keep that. And Bianca is queen of emojis. We like her emojis very much. Magnets and all, and we've got a little smiley face there. We can't do emojis, unfortunately, from here. We don't know why, but as we've said before to a few different people, we're not that technical, you know. I think Bianca's a little bit more cosmopolitan with her social media use. So welcome to you, Bianca Yamakoshi, pop in the chat. We've tried to base ourselves on X, and then we're building up the YouTube. So it's kind of like X, YouTube, and then the two smaller bits are Facebook and Instagram. And fair play to Bianca Yamakoshi. She's been helping us with that transition across to Facebook, which we're still a part of, but you know, different social media platforms. Oh, you like the shirt then, do you? So we were just going to a Yonder Horizon with our chat. Nice Tokyo City shirt. Yeah, we bought this one just the other day, as a matter of fact. Where we don't know where the inspiration came from, but we were out and about, and you know, maybe the inspiration came from Yonder Horizon. But what can we say, eh? And we thought we'd buy this one, fresh up a look. You know, sometimes in life you've got to declutter the house, rip out the old kitchen. There's going to be a list, Azrael, yeah. And then you've got to get the front and back garden tidied up, because you know, an artist, you can be that focused on just doing that one thing, that sometimes eating and sleeping right can be a thing. So yes, it is a Tokyo shirt. It's actually it's going to be our gym, part of our gym workout gear. We'd actually did a workout for the first time in 5 years. Yesterday, it's the first time we've had the time to. And it was great. We just had 2 glide sets and then 2 light workout sets, just did the reps. We're not big sports people, not even with football or powerlifting anymore. Art now is our church. I suspect with Bianca Yamakoshi that art is her church, because without art, if you're an artist, you will suffocate without it. You will die a slow, lingering death without your art. And it's very important to artists. Most artists are working 10 to maybe 16-hour days, and then they fall asleep. And they've got to find time to have, I don't know, fun, watch something, you know, to kind of, you know, zen out from all the intensity. Art is intense. It's life. It's existential. If you're an artist, it's existential joy. It's part of living, you know. It's very important, you know. So, and it's balancing, isn't it? Work, rest, and play. We had an old gym mentor. He actually helped get us up from 50 kilograms to 150 kilograms. We're a lot bigger then, because we ate more, 4 chickens a day, and you know, the broccoli and the rice. It's gym jockey food, really. And we wouldn't say that we're kind of like a Spartan in that regard. We're more like a kind of potter who can wield a sword, put a jug of wine together, you know, and do some art. But we will turn up to the battle and we'll fight with you, shoulder to shoulder. We're probably about half a stone to a stone in the weight, because maybe we haven't, as an artist, we haven't been looking after ourselves food-wise as well as we should. Plus, we've been having a very clean, just say part-time vegetarian meal, so we want to strip away the excess fat, you know. So then we start working out, we've got something to build on. But the working out now is just to keep fit, go out, do some walking, catch some sunlight. So yeah, Lord Maul, or Yoda as we called him, he would say your 3 circles of work, rest, and play have got to overlap 8 hours each. And if one of the circles gets pulled out of alignment, then that can cause all sorts of, I won't say negative consequences, but you know what it's like. You're not getting sleep. You know what it's like when you're not having enough fun, or you're not getting enough food right, or we get that oscillation in terms of our soul, our spirit, and how we feel. You know, and it's a natural fact that if you're a full-time working artist, you've got to do extra hours to get the income coming in, to actually make your bills. We've all got that pressure, and you know, and you know, we wonder often how artistic couples get on, but there are out there on X, plenty of them. So X is a place where good things can happen. But we think the main thing is, though, is communication is key. Don't let something fester into something that will, you know, become more than it is. Because sometimes the misunderstandings in all relationships or brilliant partnerships can be just little things. And then when you've had maybe a day to think about it, calm down, you think, oh, that wasn't such a big thing. That's just been lost in translation, you know? So nice Tokyo City t-shirt. We think so. Thank you very much. You're very kind. You flatter us, Bianca Yamakoshi. We've got Cosmonaut Comics. Hey, hey, hey. Didn't you used to be known as Darkside Comics? You've changed your name, haven't you? We saw something like that on X. We wonder, you've changed your company name, haven't you? Right. Oh, here we go. Bianca Yamakoshi, just some random people who scribbles on a daily basis. Well, yes. Yes. We sometimes wonder if things are truly random. As Fraser once said to Niles, you know as well as everyone, Niles, there are no accidents. Maybe fate, the gods, or Kismet have made plans for us in the cosmology of the stars itself. Maybe some things and people's souls are written into stars by way of destiny. Yes, random people meeting by cosmic Kismet. What a thought. You're making us think tonight, Bianca Yamakoshi, with your sage wisdom. We wouldn't dare say a lady's wisdom wasn't sage. We'll just listen and behave ourselves. And even if we're in the wrong, we're probably going to say, we're probably going to apologize. What do we do? No, but we like interesting quotes from Bianca. She has a good sense of humour and adds to the chat. By the grace of her mere presence, we say, oh, Azrael, you solid gold tongue smoothie, you. Hey, we just call it as we see it. Bianca does have a very emotive penciling style. The inking is Tothian. It's a combination you probably want to go and see. And we've always had a bit of an issue with Cyclops after Kirby stopped drawing them. We'd never felt any artist really handled Cyclops afterwards as well as Kirby. What you mean? Even John Byrne? Yeah, even John Byrne. It just something about the way John Byrne drew Cyclops we couldn't kind of relate to. But Kirby got Cyclops. Jack Kirby, the king. All hail the king. The king is the source from which all emanates. Yes, even John Byrne. And Scott Summers was a shy lad, modest and intellectual. He had that intellectual kind of vibe going on, mysterious, Perhaps he was intriguing as well to the ladies. Hey, Jean Grey Marvel Girl liked him, you know what I mean? Was Warren Worthington, the angel. He was a bit more flashy white boy. Some might say a kind of 20-year-old brat kind of thing, because we know guys when they're younger, most guys are all right, but you get one or two that give the rest of us guys a bad name, and behave in a certain way that is probably exciting when you're younger, but when you get older and you want some, I don't know, some support and security, that, we change as we get older, And there's certain things you can see when you're from a vantage of temporal time that are hidden from view when you're younger. It's just the natural order of things. So, yes, I mean, Scott Summers, we liked him because he was serious, because he was shy, etc., modest. And, yeah, he's a suave kind of guy, but he had to hide his feelings behind those glasses, because he takes off the glasses, what's he going to do? Blast Jean Grey Marvel Girl's head off? He only has to lose control of his passion once, and she's gone. History. So that's actually a good metaphor for stoic males. We have this tidal forward of passion behind us. We'd do anything for somebody we cared about. And if we thought we'd hurt them, we'd be remorseful to the point of devastation. That's what the 8%, and perhaps Azrael himself, would feel. So that's for Scott Summers. So he had to be guarded about his emotions. Those guys do. Ladies can perhaps are more elemental and can get away with certain things. There are differences between ladies and men. It's just the natural order of things. Chemistry is different. But 9 times out of 10, we're very like this, We're very like this, It's only the small things that separate us, Emma, be gone. Emma, it will always be Jean. Now, forever, forever, until the stars themselves fade. Always, Jean. Listen, if you have ears, for our words will carry to soul, beyond the puddle of the Atlantic and over to yonder horizon. If ever words were more authentic, listen to our whispers now. Listen if you have ears. Emma, Well, Cosmonaut, we kind of vibe that you might say, Emma, but I tell you what, it's definitely Gene putting Banky and Rikoshi's quizzical. It's interesting. Guys have got a choice. Do guys actually have a say in romance? Are we making you laugh again, Bianca, the Dark Blade Yamakoshi? Well, we like to we think the pillar or foundation of anything in life is a good laugh. Giggles, humour. It doesn't matter if you have a couple of pints and fall over and your gluteus maximus is sticking up there. That's part of the fun of getting to know somebody, isn't it? No, we're just teasing here. Oh yes, and the baritone. Now and again, we use a slightly deeper register. That's for Jose Garcia. We're looking forward to this. So whether he's here or not, we shall proceed at pace, not speedily, but with haste. For hesitancy and caution are natural to building slow trust. And then if we have a turbo bit of moment where we can break from the walking pace of trust to a bit of a sprint for the finish line, so be it. Let the gods decide such things. For Azrael is still mortal. Oh yes, wait a minute. Well, we exist purely to serve the lady Yamakoshi. We like making people laugh. After all, we don't want to be completely serious like Scott Summers. We know he could be a bit of a stiff board at times, but he was just fearful of hurting people, that's all. So he tried extra hard to keep his emotions in check. Can be a guy thing, but now and again you meet the odd guy who isn't so bad at expressing his emotions, especially if he's been raised by lots of women. We can't read their minds, but we can read their emotions. See you later, Bianca Yamakoshi. We hope you are steadfast to your art. God bless you. Oh, wait a minute. We get some giggles, human sarcasm, and Google Drive storage. Oh, we hope so. Google Drive storage. What would life be without that, eh? Catch you later, Bianca Yamakoshi. Salute. Right then. Cosmonaut Comics. We hope you're going to listen to a bit of this presentation because it looks like we're flying solos tonight, Cosmonaut brother. And we'll have to get you on the show sometime, when you've got something to promote, yeah? So anyway, the 5 Pillars of Storytelling Live is featuring Azrael and Jose Garcia, at least in spirit. We do art, comics, movies, games, and toys. It's Sunday the 1st of June. Club Van Fleur is the indie comic we've backed, and it's the indie comic we're promoting tonight. 7 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time. It's, let's see, we're talking Greenwich Mean Time. It's London, UK time. We don't live in London. We are still ruled by its time zone. Let's move on. Host introduction. Hello there. Welcome to the 5 Pillars of Storytelling Live, where we talk art, comics, movies, games, and toys. I'm your host, Azrael, and my secret identity is called Prometheus. Storyteller we are, artists, promoter of indie creators, indie comics, and indie comic community. Our style is universal. We can be watched by creative families, creative adults, and the creative younglings. Our motto is to listen, learn, and share. Hey, we've got a Cosmonaut brother. He's definitely getting an open invite. If he stays with us for the next 2 hours, it might take a little bit less without something to actually talk with. But if you stay with us the next hour or so to the finish of the show, Cosmonaut, you will be hailed as most worthy, most loyal. That's all we need. It's people to join us in battle. You don't have to follow us behind us, Cosmonaut Comics. You will be a creative leader, side by side. That's all we wish for. When we give a gentle word, we want to be positive and have other people join us side by side. We're not in front of them. We're side by side. We can walk this thing together, yeah? Cheers, Cosmonaut. We appreciate your loyalty. Appreciate that. Hey, we don't call you followers. It's creative leaders in our book. Right, let's crack on, shall we? So yes, our style is universal. We can be watched by families, adolescents, and creative younglings, because back when we were young, there was nothing like this, Star Trek technology. You can actually go to YouTube, watch Steve Root of Nexus, fine arts that is, paint, and you can actually see him draw comics. So you've got a master teaching you. We're living in age of Star Trek technology, right? So we want everybody to learn together and support one another together. We could be negative, but we choose to be positive. After the last 3 years of the Darkness Wars, we would say, we're in this together, folks. We've only got one another. That's truth. And if you can connect two souls together and a shell falls on their head, listen to Kismet. It will look after you. Good evening, Bear Marchant. It's good to have you in the house. Hey, we've got a bit of chat going off. We've had Bianca with her giggles and humor. We like a bit of that. And we've got Cosmonaut Comics saying, hey, at Bear Marchant, at Bianca Yamakoshi. We like that. If there is just one, there are many. We call it the power of one. If we ever get around to making a comic, you know what from our top secret classified business plan, we're on our 9th. We're going to do a 10th and final one. We'll just keep that as a living, breathing one that we'll add to. In our 9th business plan, we call it the power of one. We only expect, if we were doing a comic right now, guess how many we'd expect to sell? Come on in the chat, have a guess. We're going to make the chat interactive. Let's go. How many of our first comic are we going to sell? Cosmonaut Comics and Bear Marchant. Come on, have a go if you think you're hard enough. Go on, guess the number in Azrael's brain. He's got 3 brains. It's a hive mind. Maybe more, actually. We lost count at 3. You know, guys can't count, especially when it comes to time or those other things you're supposed to use counting for. Oh, yes, budgeting. Come on, Cosmonaut. How many of Azrael's pretend first comic would he expect to sell? Don't be shy, Cosmonaut Comics. What about Bear Marchant? How many do you think we would sell of our first comic? Come on, have a guess. Humor me. Humor us. Give you 10 seconds, then we're moving on. Oh, we need to put welcome to the chat, don't we? Welcome to the chat, Bianca. Cosmonaut, and Bear Marchant. Good to have you in the house tonight. A trio, a trinity of chat. Hey, that's more than one, isn't it? Right, then we've got a guest coming in. Cosmonaut Comics thinks that Azrael will be budgeting. Did we give off that confident vibe, do we? In the X and the YouTube. $3,000 worth of comics. Right. If we were to do a comic, we project to sell the first issue. We call it the Power One. We expect to sell 1 issue. Oh dear. It looks like Cosmonaut Comics has just dropped down and fainted. What is Bear Marchant's guess? Between 50 to 100. You were so close in relative terms. Right? So close, Bear Marchant. And you are getting our thinking, aren't you? Because we start off humble. Yeah? And we're going to keep that up because you're getting where we're coming from. You can actually read our mind. That's spooky. Nobody can read Azrael's hive mind. And we're just going to answer Bear Marchant. Then we're going to put Cosmonaut Comics next point up because we like to. I'm going to put here. Love the chat. Love the chat. Love the interaction. And this show isn't about us. Do you notice we never say the word I? Yes, Azrael speaks funny. What's that line from Highlander? Hey Nash, you speak funny. Where are you from? Lots of different places. And then after that, it kind of kicks off because obviously Conor McLeod speaks first language Scottish or French, Belgian, Scottish, if you know what we're saying. And we are first language Azrael. Slightly medieval and archaic, of course. Hate is what it is, eh? We don't like your sort around here. You remember the scene in the horror movie from that Yorkshire pub? Remember the Alamo and all that sort of stuff? And we've probably second language English, which probably explains the altercations we've had in our life. We don't like the way you look either. Hey, come on. Just like that guy in Highlander. And then it all kicks off. You think, what did I say? What did I do? You know? So you get used to being a power one all by yourself. So you think a little bit different, you know? Maybe we always have done. So yeah, between 50 and 100 comics. Right. Bear Marchant, you're right up our wheelhouse. You're pretty close. And we're going to catch you on our ladder of numbers. 1, 2. Can you hear what we're saying? 5, 10, yeah, 15, 20, 25, 50. We've hit one of your numbers, yeah. 75 down to 100. You've got 2 of our magic numbers ladder. So well done. That's pretty good. So, yes, your insight serves you well. Commendations to Bear Marchand. But start off modestly with ultra humility. You sell 2, you've got 100% sales improvement. You sell 5, that's what, 500% more than 1. You sell 10, that's 1,000% more than 1. Do you see where we're going to? And this pattern of round numbers can continue from the hundreds to 50, 500, 750, 1,000. Let's go again. 1,250, 1,500, 1,750, 2,000, etc., and so on. So the days of us needing to print 3,000 up front or needing that as a Kickstarter campaign number are over. With digital printing, you can just turn up with a demo copy at a convention for your first time, as just use it as a prototype, gauge people's interest, get them to put their interest down in your contact book. Let's say you get 10 people interested on your prototype day at a local convention. We've done this, by the way. Azrael, do you have a prototype? Such information is classified. Of course, we're only in the indie comics community at the moment to serve 50,000 posts and counting, thousands of books promoted. It's not about the I, it's about us. Together we, to quote the Clannad song. Robin has showed. If you like it, you know what we're talking about. So yes, it's the power of one, and take it with modesty, humbleness and humility from there on in. It's part of our business plan. The numbers are very important. We balance creativity with business. We have a plan for creativity, a plan for business, and we've brought together a unity document where the circles overlap with a Venn diagram in the middle. Yeah. So in the old days, they used to call this parlance, in old-fashioned archaic speak, commercial art. Artists want to just maybe live in a cave, grow their toenails long, wear a potato sack cloth, and then shave their head. We've got the shaving of the head. We were almost at the potato sack stage, but we've hit the gym today, tidied up our diet, and gone out for some sunlight, speak to some animals, get some vitamin D in, talk to the neighbours, and start acting like humans again. Yeah. And our circles are starting to overlap now, where we've got work, rest, and play. So they're not quite perfectly overlined. It's like a three-way Venn diagram, basically, Bear Marchand and Cosmo. We hope some of this is interesting to you. It's just giving you some insight that we've all got our own battles to fight in the comics community. There's no right or wrong way. You'll never hear edicts from us, do it this way. But if you're curious and you ask us questions, we'll give our humble viewpoint what we think. Sometimes we'll answer a question with a question, because we don't want to go direct into somebody and destroy their dreams or say you're doing it wrong. You'll never hear it from us. No way. Never. Never. So then, yes, here we go. This is Cosmo Comics. Depends on the quality, etc., the art, the colouring. So yeah, you could do 75, and probably over a convention, depending on the popularity of the convention, Cosmo Comics, you could probably sell 75 in a day, or at least 35 copies and sell them all over the weekend. Yeah. For us as an independent creator going out for the first time, for ourselves, we'd advise just doing one day. That way you're booking on the table. If it's a small press convention, and rather than going to a big convention and spending 1,000, it's going to take you about 100 sales at £10 to break even. We'd be tempted to go to a local convention where they have cheaper tables for independent creators. So it only costs you £35 for maybe a Sunday. So you go to a less busy day, and you can still, that's what we did, and you can still gauge reaction, get all the contacts in your phone book, and use that as reconnaissance, as, basically studying your target audience. Stand on your feet all the time, put your phone away, try and put a smile on your face. Yeah, even moody ones like ours, that's just the way our face looks. We occasionally smile. When was the last time we did that? Was it on the last stream? No, I think it might have been. Damn it, we're in danger of cracking a face, so we don't do it often. So yes, it depends on the quality, the art coloring, around about 75. We'd start off modestly like that. We'd maybe start off with one day on a Sunday, low volume traffic, yeah, at a maybe a sponsored small press convention, maybe an event in a library, maybe a museum, yeah. You could organize it yourself, get a bunch of buddies together. You're all in the coach community. If you live local, rent the venue out, yeah, and charge one another £25 or whatever it is to actually, wait, what, 5 tables? Let's say the venue to hire the museum out to do a circled set of tables. Let's say 5 of you, it's £25 each. So it's 125 to cover renting out the floor space of a museum. Yeah. They'd maybe normally do art exhibitions, but you could say to them, look, we've got this idea for a local convention. You could do it yourself. But you might even decide you like it so much, you like promoting other creators side by side with you in battle in the indie comics community, because we've got the power to do that now. Yeah. We've got the Star Tech technology for doing streams. We've got Amazon, the biggest comic shop in the world. We've got the communities through the Internet 2.0 billionaire club. You know what we're saying, don't you? We still advise having a website and a newsletter for independents. Yeah, that should really be the core foundation. But drive the free traffic from the 5 social media platforms, which have got access to 4 billion people. You'd be crazy to not take advantage of that. But try and drive it back to your website and drive it to your newsletter. So if anything happens, let's just say Instagram does a tactical nuclear strike at Azrael and he's there. What did I say? What do? Azrael, you did 7 posts instead of the mandatory 3. Azrael, you're too enthusiastic. Yeah, apparently that's a community guideline. Don't worry, we've only got to surrender our phone number, you know, business plan blackmail, to Instagram, and we can have our old account back. Azrael, move on, because you know you don't do politics, sex, or religion in the show. We certainly don't. So Cosmonaut's got a point. Do your research and print as many as your feedback allows, or just a bit more. So, for example, you go on a Sunday, you had 10 people in your contact book. Yeah. So go with at least 10, but probably go 20 or 25 on your print run. A bit like what Bear Marchant was saying with the numbers, and Cosmonaut Graphics is saying 75. Bear Marchant and Cosmonaut Graphics, Cosmonaut Comics are saying the same thing, 50 to 75. Yeah. Even 100, because wait a minute, what if you go to the next week's convention and all of a sudden words got out about you? You're going to have to go back to the print and wait another week. So actually, to slightly overprint in modest terms, it's probably a good idea, Cosmo Comics and Marchant. So yeah, and that means you've got some back issues which you can charge extra for, because the last 10 would be sold at a premium, surely. Because rarity value of the first print, that's another thing to think about as well. Rarity. If you're only doing 100, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles back in the day, they probably didn't print loads, and that's why they're rare today. Just a thought. Anyway, let's move on. Cosmonaut Comics. I think, therefore, we are. Bear Marchant, what are we doing? Highlander watch along. Yeah, who knows? We might tell you what we might do one day. We might do, you know, those kind of, what do you call them? Those videos where we haven't got anything in our movie section yet for 5, 6 areas, because we've just started doing unboxing videos. We posted one last night on the late great Jack Kirby the King, on his gods, which is like a visual diary of what he did with the new gods when he left Marvel Comics. Well, we don't call them Marvel Comics, we call them Jack Kirby Universe Comics. Azrael, what you're saying, you know what we're saying. And he went after being with giving Team Red all his ideas for 10 years. He then moved to DC and then gave them all his other ideas. Hey, that's how things were back then, you know. So we'll do probably a show on creator rights once upon a time. But what do you call them? Those kind of feedback where they sit along and watch a movie and give their opinions on it. You have to give critical opinion, otherwise you'll get copyright striked. So Highlander is probably a watch along. Good suggestion, Bear Marchant, we could do, and we can have people in chat also making comments about it. We could just replay the trailer again and again and talk about the different points of that particular movie. That would be a cool idea. You've given us an idea, Bear Marchant. We appreciate that. Very good. Well, hope some what we're saying, Cosmonaut Comics, because we know you're experienced in indie comics already. I mean, when you've got 1 or 2 books out, and they've got, by the way, Cosmonaut Comics have got a great artist on board. They've got their own style of drawing, and when the inks go on, it's unusual, and the coloring's unusual. The whole point of indie comics, you can do it your way. It doesn't matter if Eric July is doing it his way, or other people disagree with you. A bit of friction in the community is positive. It shows we care, that we're passionate. It doesn't matter if we've all got our own way of doing things. Everybody we've had on the show so far is doing it their way. They've got their own plan. It doesn't have to be an opus business plan. Our business plan has 500,000 words in it, but you wouldn't take that. That was an everything plan. but you wouldn't take that to a bank manager. He'd glaze over and probably fall off his chair. So yeah, very good so far. You're very kind to us, Cosmo Comics. In essence, we're in complete agreement with you. But it depends on what stage you're at. If you're a regular like yourself, you might want $3,000 or $3,000 worth of kit to be moved. Because you might have started small and gradually built it up on your ladder of growth over the years. A business plan isn't set in stone. We consider it a living thing. Get yourself a good mentor to see it from the outside. Try Sarah Grocott on navigate.com. She has a great outside perspective on comics that we feel the biggest growth for comics, indie comics. That's where the action's at. That's what's exploding, because you've got creative control and freedom to do it your way. You don't have to go cap in hand to a soulless corporation that doesn't care about you. They'll do the 10th version of Batman. And yeah, it might be cool. You might still want to do that. Go ahead and do it. But we'd rather give our money to Cosmo.comics than to the 50th version of Batman. We'd rather do absolute dark side Cosmo.comics rather than absolute Batman. And don't get wrong, don't get us wrong, the artwork on Batman and absolute Wonder Woman, it's all very good. But when you do Crisis on Infinite Earths and you vaporize 50 years worth of history, 45 I think it was, and then you do a Bobby Ewing crying in the shower or whatever he's doing because he didn't get his big break in Hollywood. The whole second season of Dallas was erased, and it was just a dream. I mean, was that Deus Ex Machina? I mean, what can you say? But all those creators who created all that mythology, it's wiped out due to the hubris of one writer and an artist who was along for the ride. I mean, don't get us wrong, we love Marv Wolfman and Judge Perez. The Teen Titans run is legend to us, So, we try to be balanced in our viewpoints. We really do get to have opinions on the show. We're more about listening, but because Jose Garcia is busy with convention, it doesn't matter. We're going to press on. So anyway, Tim the Passionate Olsen in that house tonight. Hello, Tim. We had such a great time with you on the show. You were passionate, deep thinker. We like listening to you. And, we're back to you, Melvin Matthew. Like the cover, but that was just merely a portal to what's inside. The artwork inside is black and white. John Carter, Gil Kane, School of Thought, He's got a great team with his artist and that. And we'll be watching his career with indie comics with great interest. Sometimes you get really upfront and close with certain creators, but sometimes you watch people respectfully from afar. Depends on the energy. Sometimes, it depends on the everyday energy of life, doesn't it? And obviously we're trapped here, chained here in the Great Nexus. So sometimes the ether gets through to us. Sometimes we have to fight it all the way. What is up? We're chatting to our dear chat tonight, who we value beyond measure. We don't call them followers, we call them creative leaders. So if you come to a chat, you're most welcome to chat with us. We'll chat to you. We'll go through the presentation in a moment. What we've got here, 5 books available on Amazon, soon to be 6. So if you want to catch a bit of Melvin, we do promo. If you're a creator and you're in the chat, we'll promo you, yeah? So if you want to give you a book, a bit of a and kind of like promo your wares, We'll give a shout out to Bianca Yamakoshi. Welcome back to Bianca Yamakoshi. We'll put her comment up in a moment. So we've got to say, we didn't put love the chat, love the interaction. We didn't put it up, did we? We have now. Where we put it there? There you go. We've had some great chat tonight. Love the chat, love the interaction, love it. And Cosmonaut graphics from Tim. Hail. And Tim Olsen, hey man, we like a bit of hey man in chat. Well, hello, kind of guy ourselves, of course. But we can do hey, man. Hey, so it looks like Bianca Yamakoshi has been watching Batman and Bill. Now, you probably realize by now, Bianca, why we talk about Jack Kirby a lot, because he was the poster child of how numerical injustice was given to creators back then under the work for hire system. Yeah, you want to have a look at it, look up the article from the Comics Journal where Gary Groth interviews Jack the King Kirby and his wife, his guiding star that supported him shoulder to shoulder all those years, Ross Kirby as well. And you know what? We don't want to get really into it, but we'll hear what you're saying here. Bianca says, just finished watching Batman and Bill and cried my heart out. We know, Bianca. We know it's a highly emotive subject that people who create do not get the creative rewards that are, we'd say, owed to them for their creativity. Nobody likes to be taken for a ride, exploited, lied to, and so forth and so forth. People want to be paid a fair wage. If you want to be an artist, you work 10 hours, you want to be paid at least a fair living wage for your passion. And we're quite aware of Batman and Bill. We have watched it before, and we wish to watch it again. And we would say we'll have to bring our box of tissues by the sounds of it. We hopefully you'll find comfort in knowing that these days things are a little bit better for creators. I still think they've got a ways to go, Bianca, but together we can stand shoulder to shoulder on the battlefield, wield Azrael's sword of light, and be graceful, gentle, and generous with how we treat one another, so we can get out from under that corporate model and reap the financial rewards for ourselves by growing our tribes together, by supporting one another. The whole premise of the 5 pillars of storytelling is to give people a gentle word and shine a spotlight on creators who might not get the support that their unique individual style deserves. So we hope you feel a bit better after watching that Batman and Bill documentary. We might give that a watch tonight ourselves, actually. You know what I mean? In between other such things as what we're going to do, we're actually going to feed ourselves a Philly steak as part of our new regime to put half a stone or so back on. We need to. You can actually lose too much weight when you're vegetarian, and we're going to do a Philly steak. We've got some salad we bought last night. Bought some Philly steak last night, along with a nice bit of spinach, and we do have a hearty glass of deep, passionate red wine. Is that Merlot? I think is that a Spanish one? Rioja. And we're going to have that as part of our jus. We're going to mix it. We haven't got cranberry sauce, drat, but we'll mix the red wine with some honey. And what we'll do is we'll, crikey, I'm getting olive oil. We could use the butter to cook it. You really should cook steak with some butter. We'll do that. And we'll create a jus for it. Give it some tender loving care. In the pan, 5 minutes one side, 5 minutes the other. Medium rare, perhaps in the middle. And that'll put Azrael, the gentle man, back on the map. We find once a week, as a part-time vegetarian, we don't get that thing from other foods. Maybe we're not having the right kind of vegetarian foods. Just saying. Anyway, less about the food, Azrael, and certainly like that chat. That's probably the why this show exists, Bianchi Makoshi. Yeah, to give creators their due. You know that 1 to 1,000 barrier where it's really hard getting that support. Yeah, it feels like you're lifting a boulder or pushing it along in a Sisyphean kind of way. And if somebody like Bianchi Makoshi is pushing that boulder, we'll put our shoulder to it right there. There it is. When we finish with the gym, we'll put out the shoulder to it bigger. But we're aware we lost a bit of weight actually. We just, when you've gone through a period of darkness, as we have the last 3 years, you realise, were you actually taking care of yourself? Bianchi Yamakoshi regarding Batman and Bill, your comment is the reason why the 5 pillars of storytelling exists. How about that for a compliment? Yeah, we do love the chat and we like what you're saying. And here, Burr Marchant says, what they didn't consider with that it was all a dream, it does meant it was also a dream in the spin-off Knots Landing. We used to like programs like that in the past, and that, I mean, you see them on the YouTube and stuff like that. They were the product of a time, and Knots Landing was an interesting show. Burr Marchant, yes, Highlander watch along, but there can be only one. Yes, there can be only one. Or what's our impersonation of French, Belgian, Scottish? There can be only one. Something like that. We'll have to practice that 100 times to get good at it. So yes, we're going to do a Highlander reaction video. That's what they're called. We're going to do a reaction video to fill apart. We haven't got anything in our... We can actually do a reaction video to Batman and Bill. That would be interesting. So we've got 2 for our list: Highlander, Batman and Bill, and we'll do a reaction video. How about that? You guys are invited to the chat. Bring the box of tissues just in case it gets emotional. I'm going to bring the box of tissues because, you know, when Heather goes down through old age, wait a minute, that brings up another subject. Do you notice that Connor is forever young? He's stuck at 29 forever. And Heather gets older and older and older. Now, we're not going to get into it because we haven't got a box of tissues, so we don't start crying actually live on show. We're thinking, what if you hit an emotional subject, Azrael? Are you going to start crying live? Hey, we can be sensitive, get in touch with our feminine side. Don't do it now, though, Azrael. What are you saying to us? Right, reaction videos to come then. You're on, Bear Marchand and Bianca Yamakoshi. You're on. It's game on. We're going to do it. Tim Olsen, how do you do it is you get everyone to queue the film up at home and then tell them. Okay, then, right, yeah. So we could do a watch along together. Yeah. We might, for copyright reasons, only have to react to the trailer, but you could be watching the movie along with us. I mean, I'm not sure the corporations at Hollywood will let us do a whole 2-hour run, look along, and chat all the way through it. Some sites will let you do it. What's the one? The other one that's the rival to YouTube. We might actually broaden our wings, actually. We've done Instagram and Facebook. We've only just got to give in to blackmail to give this back, our number to Instagram, so we can actually get our account back. Yeah, we may look happy or moody or something, but we're very annoyed about that because we got our first comment on our own artwork from Gary Spencer Millage. That really, we won't go into it. But here we go. I'll fix my printer now after The Last of Us. You good luck fixing your printer, Bianca Yamakoshi, now after The Last of Us. Godspeed on that. We know printers can be a bit of a pain. We've been there ourselves. And enjoy watching The Last of Us. We hope it meets your threshold of quality. God bless you. See you soon. Right here. Tim Olsen, how do you do it is you get everyone to queue the film up at home and then tell them, and we can all hit, and then, says Ben Marchand, you can tell them to hit play so we're all in sync. Good idea, good idea. As Bianca Yamakoshi says, later folks, wish me success setting up your printer. Oh yes, we shall say a prayer to the gods themselves that the Yamakoshi printer will know live once again. Let it live and breathe. Here we go. Tim Olsen, Bear Marchand, I don't make the rules. Yes, here we go. Patreon. Could do Patreon, actually, for the reaction videos. That's a good extra source, actually, Cosmonaut Comics, for the additional revenue stream. Because for indie comics, you need extra revenue streams. It can't just be the comic. You've got to think about the merch, subscriptions, memberships on your website. Hopefully some of this is making sense to you guys. Sometimes some people are a bit sensitive about the business side of things. Got to have it. It's going to be 50% of what you do. And in that 50% business plan has got to be great product with the creativity, but 50% has to be making great noise with the commercial side of things, marketing, etc. We come up against it time and time again. Maybe we can address that there is a Scotsman playing a Spaniard, and I think Crystal Lambert as well is playing someone who's Scottish. Hey, just saying, we hear you. Lambert is French. He is. Lambert is French. And we've got another one. Bear Marchand, you sure? Hey, get over to Wikipedia. Find it out over there. Come on. Ding, ding, ding. Jerry. And then Tim Olsen's back down. He says, fair play in all humility. Yeah, he is French. And we've got another one here from Tim. Correction, Crystal Lambert is French, which he is. That will explain his unusual Scottish brogue. Right then. So anyway, let's get back to the presentation. Guys in the chat, thank you for the chat comments, and we're going to carry on with the stream. Thank you for the chats so far. Good to have you here. If I spell it right. We'll put, even though she's just gone, welcome back, Bianca. We're going to put a few comments in there. Welcome back, Bianca. Good luck fixing the printer. Pray to the printer gods. That's the one, isn't it? Printer gods. Right then, let's move swiftly on. So yes, our style is universal. We're here to listen, learn, and share, because this sort of technology wasn't available in the 80s. Inspiring quote, comics are an international language that can cross boundaries and generations. Comics are a bridge between all cultures. Time, space, land, and sea. are no barrier for Azrael. He will cut such pebbles and ponds with the sword of light. Mere thing. Life itself is illusory. Why should we put obstacles in its way? At the end of the day, whatever we want to do in life, how badly do we want it? Will we suffer before we realize the opportunity, the rare gift that is before us? For the time we spend today in the now, we will not get back. Right then, let's move on, and we'll put some more comments up in a moment. Let's just do a guest introduction for Jose Garcia. Been looking forward to this. Guest introduction, Jose Garcia. We will do a bit of positive prose for our creators. Jose Garcia at Radtastical Core is an independent comic book creator with a unique style. He is. It's like cross between Spanish and Japanese manga. Club Van Fleur is on Kickstarter and Fund My Comic, and it's funded. We backed it. Clients have included DreamWorks, CN, Netflix, Nickelodeon, Heavy Metal, and Karma and Comixology. You know, that Amazon company, backed company. The unusual elegance of Jose Garcia is on fire in the indie comics community. We backed issue 1 digital. Digital's good. You know, if it's an American or Spanish or an Argentinian or a Japanese artist or European artist, digital's great because you can circumvent time and space. You know, the kind of corporeal physicalities. So that way you can bypass the corporations jacking up the shipping prices. Something else they make money off. They're not happy just to make profit out the core product. And then the government taxes you on it because they work hand in glove with the corporations. Azrael, you're not being political. Oh no, just calling facts as they are. And then you can circumnavigate that with a digital comic. Sure, it won't smell like an actual real comic. Oh baby, the smell of old books in an old bookshop, that kind of thing. It won't feel tactile in your hands, which is nice. And also you can't see it the same because it's, a real comic isn't behind a glass screen. Digital comics, the colors are purer, but it's a bit synthetic in a way, isn't it? You know, we don't mind either. We've only backed about 5-6 paper comics because the shipping costs are crippling. We think all the shipping costs could have backed another 10, 20, 100 independent creators. So we tried to spread the Azrael coffee cake of backing people. The slices, we don't, not starvingly thin, but a show of intent and faith from us to them. Yeah, if they want to fight for a digital copy, we can do that. But if it's $10 for the paper plus 30 quid for the shipping, you're looking at £40. How many digital comics is that? You know, well, 10.5, let's say $10 is 40, isn't it? So 10 creators are missing out because we went paper on somebody. You know, emotionally, it's a tricky thing because you want to back as many people as you can. If you connect with them, we're not just going to back people for the sake of it. You know, we're not blowing smoke. You know, it has to be a meritocracy. If they've got passion, courage, and conviction, we'll back you if it connects with us. You know, it's a creator who's passionate. Yeah, it's a comic that it has courage to get it out there is an act of bravery itself. But that to keep promoting a cause and turning up every day, 10 hours a day, month after month, year after year. Hey, some creators are doing it and have been doing it for years, you know? So anyway, we backed Van Fleur, or Club Van Fleur. Welcome to the unique, unusual, elegant talent of Jose Garcia. We know you're at a convention. We saw it in your X chat. We probably thought he's got to prioritize the convention. We get that. Not a problem. We can cope with that. Vermarchand saying he's blind as a bat as well, which made the sword fights interesting. Yeah, he does have that slight glazed look, which seems to almost add to a sense of innocence and his mystique, you know? And it almost seems to make him more earnest and honest seeming, you know, that you almost feel for him, you know, that he's the tragic hero of circumstances, you know, of fate, kismet, destiny, we know. And on the whole, people much prefer physical copy. Bermarchand, you've just gone up in our estimations. You get a gold star for this comment because we feel you right there, sir. We feel you right there, sir. Why? Because it's a reborn dead tree, isn't it? So there's that connection to Mother Earth. We think, Azrael, you're very into things that are unseen. We think the more we understand about the things that we can't see, technically blind in scientific terms as we are, we can only see 0.01% of all the radio waves in the universe, all that resonance. So you could have something standing right next to you, but because you can't see all the colours, but only a select band of colours and frequencies, there could be something stood right next to you. It could be 10 foot tall. How do you know that it's not feeding on you? Who knows? Azrael, you've been a bit weird now. What? I haven't been watching the other 25 shows. We said hello to our dentist the other day. We were slightly enthusiastic because we'd had some sleep for the first time in 5 years, which won't go into the private matter. We don't do private on the show at all. And she said, "Oh, you're very weird today, but nice with it." And we said, "Yes, but you forgot. What was that other word we said? We said you forgot strange, and all the other things were left out as well." So yes, weird and strange, aren't we all? We've got 8 billion unique. They're not diverse people. They're 8 billion unique people on the planet. We don't think in groups. We've got 8 billion individual souls on the planet, unique ones at that. So yes, physical copy over digital works for vinyls for us, and in much the same way as vinyl is much better than Spotify. Agree with you on both points. We call that the twin pillars of who we are. Comics, vinyl, amen. Twin pillars standing like that. Get in there. Let's go, baritone. 2 pillars, strong foundation. Do a bit of pouting for the camera. Stop that, Azrael. We know you're not vain. We're not actually. We just can't stand the sight of ourselves in the mirror. So yeah, blind as a bat. We got that one. So yeah, it's physical because it's that physical connection. The soul may be intangible, but we connect to the world through the interface of the corporeal and the physical. Yeah, something like that. So anyway, let's crack on with this presentation. We do keep the comments coming. We'll put here, love the comments. We don't mind if you're kind of listening to us while you're drawing or doing the housework, Crenshaw. Listen along. Feel free to. Love the comments, Tim. And Marchant is bullseye. Shall I spell that right? On the physical versus digital debate. Now, we understand the digital is a necessary evil, and maybe the younger generations, they prefer that because it's all very convenient. We actually like the idea of getting up, turning the vinyl over, that each side of an album has its own story. Yeah, side A, side B, side black, side white. If you know what we're saying, there's a certain procession to vinyls. So yes, bullseye on the digital debate. Yeah, this takes all night. We're doing this stream. We're going to get through this presentation. Yep, I think so. Love the comments. Oh yeah. Stop pouting. Yeah, we don't have any note. We won't put that comment up, but yes, we don't have anything. We don't do politics, sex, or religion. Yes, but we hear you, Ben Marchant. We hold ourselves to the exacting standard. If we let anybody down, or we let our own standards down, we'll be particularly hard on ourselves. You know what I mean? We'd be angry, upset if we upset somebody else, even by accident. Even if it's not our fault, we'd still be upset that we'd accidentally through a little teeny thing. We think it's worth getting upset, but we still consider the person's viewpoint. That was the interpretation of what we said or our actions. So, the communication in this world is still the number one underrated skill. And you see it through marketing in the indie comics community. Some people, like Vaughan Coleman, he's just got it. Matt Garvey, got it. Both appeared on the show, by the way. Check out their streams. Vaughan Coleman, which is break your heart. We had to hold it together to interview him. Got great energy, and you've got to hear his legacy story. It's a tale of father to son. Let's move on. So anyway, Indie Comic is Club Van Fleur Volume 1, an 80-page graphic novel about a group of kids that want to advance the world of science with magic and alchemy to stop the war. Indeed, and love the artwork style. It's got that Spanish, Japan cosmopolitan. And why can't people come together from all over the world and bring their own styles and forge them together in a fusion of cultures Rather than fighting about the fact that we're different, why can't we come together and work together side by side through good communication skills? We've had Spanish artists mixed with some American artists. John Long, our most popular stream, actually heading towards 150 views, is now almost double the previous champion of our views. And Jay Long's got his Spanish artist. He's got his wife on editing and accounts. It's a terrific, terrific episode. And we had the Marchant and others in the chat, Bianca Yamakoshi, and the chat that he brought his family and friends with him. The chat was absolutely exploding. Our first one that's happened like that, and hopefully we'll have a chat like that in the future. But the actual title in John Long's case, free plug. If you've been on our show, we'll give you free plugs all night. Is Heavyweight, and it's basically swirling political conspiracy meets kickboxing. Boxers with gold blood. So all of a sudden there's something different, almost like Highlander. Why does he heal? Why doesn't he get hurt? He can get hurt, but he heals from it. And these gold-blooded boxers do kickboxing, and the action in it is nose crunching, literally. It's free to read on Global Comics, and it's called Heavyweight. We with every single promo that J. Long turned up to, we went and read his comic, and then when we got to issue 6, we kind of thought, where's the next episode? You're clicking on the mouse, on the keyboard, you think, where is the next bit? And then he posted the next chapter, and good job, because our tongue was hanging out for the next episode. And he's put it in physical comics. They're on his website, and he's on X. You can check him out, J Long Heavyweight. And basically, he's got his own paper comics, 2 of them, reprinting the web comic, first few chapters, and he's got merch on there, which is cool, like a good t-shirt and that. So we had a bank issue. We didn't get a chance to back it, so we're going to go to the website to see if we can get it done. And the other book that we were meant to, we're gonna have to apologize here to Comics Wellspring. We said we're going to back it. We will do, but we just missed the deadline to back. So, but it's not due to be released until November anyway. So we're going to have to DM them, say sorry about that. When your books are actually available in digital, we'll get it. At least that. Maybe if we feel the kit's so good for a paper copy, we might, by way of apology, buy the paper one. But certainly we'll get at least the digital copy. But it's not out actually till November. That's one thing we didn't clarify on the show. We said a great many things, but we didn't actually say when it will. We certainly didn't. But maybe they did. So anyway, so let's move on. So yes, that's an 80-page indie comic, and to pay £4-5 for that as a digital version, it's an absolute bargain. It's accessible. It's a steal. And you can buy 80 pages worth of digital from America to Britain, or from, I'm not sure where exactly Garcia is based, but from let's say the Americas or Europe or Japan. Digital, you don't have to worry about the shipping costs or fulfillment for an 80-page book. You try shipping that from certain places, you'll be wincing at the postal cost. And that's what's going to break indie comics. We're going to have to get really clever about how we do fulfillment. And the whole point of it will be having no individual business plan. They can come up with those solutions about how they make fulfillment work. Sometimes you get your wife involved in actually doing all the boxing, family involved, doing boxing parties, like pizza parties, all sorts of things whereby, you feed your family with pizza and they do all help you do the packing. For boarding, backing and boarding all the comics, and writing all the labeling, all the kind of like the tank proof kind of shall I say packaging, because the packaging has got to be good, because you don't want to be dealing with refunds, because comic fans can be quite exacting. If there's a slight ding in the comic, then it's no longer mint, is it? Then it becomes near mint or some such. So anyway, let's press on with this. Right then, the big 5 questions. Jose Garcia. Who is Jose Garcia? Well, we couldn't find a picture of him. We did try, but that's a logo of perhaps him and his comics company. We won't be able to do storytelling influences, comics journey, movies, or music. Jose Garcia, in our view, is a very popular member of the indie comics community. He's got his own unique style. He sounds Spanish, from what we can tell, and you never know, he might even live in Argentina and speak Spanish. It might be something like that. It might live in Spain, and he's got this lovely continental style, which is a cross between a cosmopolitan continental French European Spanish style. We know comics are quite big in Europe in terms of is it France, Italy, and then Spain in terms of the size of the markets. Britain's unfortunately still got a ways to go in terms of indie comics, but the conventions, the local conventions, are starting to explode. Indie comics is actually taking off in Britain as well. You know, we're a little bit behind the curve, but we'll catch up real fast. If anything, Azrael has to say about it. So let's move on. So yeah, he's this Van Fleur comic, Club Van Fleur, is, it's been very popular in the indie comic community. Let's move on. What does Jose Garcia create? Gives the elevator pitch. Well, we can't ask him that, so we're not going to bother with that question because he's not here. He's probably at a convention. Yeah. Sometimes you get time zone connections, and we had daylight savings now with somebody in America, and we'd recently had a daylight saving situation in Britain. And he missed us by now because of that American time zone daylight shift, because obviously you're a day behind or a day forwards, yeah. You have to wind the clocks back or forwards and such forth. And he was now late, but we kept going with the chat and that, So I'll put here. We've got love the comments that Tim and Ben Marchand is bullseye on the physical versus digital debate. We think so. And yes, the pitch we'll get for it. Here's the cover then. Let's just actually, can we see that a bit bigger? We're going to actually broaden the StreamYard interface so we can see what we're doing, and then we're going to put it on big screen so you can get rid of our face and see the actual comic itself. How about that? That's the cover to Club Van Fleur, and it looks absolutely gorgeous, doesn't it? It's that what we've got here is a unique forging of a fusion of different countries' version of manga. We suspect if there was a French manga creator who's influenced by manga from Japan, this is the kind of thing they might do, Yeah, obviously you weren't born in Japan, and therefore maybe not quite astute, but you can still appreciate it and do your version of what you think it is, even though you haven't grown up in it all your life. It's the actually compromising on culture and learning to communicate. It might be tricky to begin with, but get to know somebody from another culture is no less an act of a beautiful thing where two souls can meet and learn how to, create something like this, for example, where it's a coming together of two different cultures. It makes it very cosmopolitan, we think, and worldly, And there are husband and wife teams that work together to produce comics, or they have different artistic comics and different lives, but they support one another shoulder to shoulder. They understand that they're both artists, and they make it work. Most artists do long hours. And sometimes they're only sharing a sofa, breakfast at a table, and maybe a gentle cuddle at night before they fall asleep. Such forth. There's indie comics is demanding. Being an artist is demanding. You know what I mean? So when we have guests on the show, we always celebrate the fact if they have a supportive wife, children, or family, and it's like a family effort. That's what we liked about the John Long heavyweight interview. You could see in the chat, they're all behind him, not behind him, but alongside him as warriors in the battle to come, on the battlefield of life. Let's move on. Story then. So what's it really about? Club Van Fleur, Volume 1, tells a story about a war between humanity and the unknown, set in a period after the great wars of technology versus the elemental kings. There's your convention pitch, isn't it, folks? You go over to Jose Garcia, he's at a convention, selling his Club Van Fleur, and he'll give people that advice or that sales pitch, and hopefully people go, oh, that sounds interesting, and look at his indie comics on its table. He'll be standing there, big smile on the face, and give it some positive energy. So we follow Julie Van Fleur, a 14-year-old girl inventor. By looks, I think she looks quite young, like maybe a teenager, adolescent, who has inherited the position of leader of the renowned Club Van Fleur, the science and arms department of the Iron City, after her parents passed away in or on the war. Now, Julie has been given an impossible task. Sometimes every day in life seems like an impossible task, especially if you're an artist and doing an indie comic. It probably seems. That's why we do the Sisyphean task of putting our shoulders together to the boulder. We'll shift it that way, we've got orders of magnitude. You know, like the green spirits took down the orc army in Lord of the Rings. Now do you hear what we're saying? Yeah, that's how you beat the soulless corporate enemy. Or we don't want corporation comics to lose. Yeah, that's no victory. We want indie comics to win. Yeah, we've got to look after, keep our own house in order, be professional. Yeah, commercial art. Yeah. So yes, given an impossible task by the Valkyrie Queen and sets her into a desperate journey to build better tech to ensure the continuation of the war. Movie voice, Julie is determined to protect her parents and the club's secrets from the never-ending crusade of the Valkyrie Queen against the world. Let's move on. Oh yeah, the world. Now this is what we quite like, the world spiel. You know, if you're anybody, kind of any RPG or role-playing fans, a lot of indie creators now are taking the RPG road of actually using like the kind of campaign book as a framework, as a foundation, like character sheets, backgrounds, what's the purpose, what the motivations, what the flaws, what's the duality like, what's the angel like on the shoulder, what's the devil part of them like. It's all about the choices. We make good and bad choices. Do we end up like Anakin out of Skywalker, or do we become a redemptive choice, Luke Skywalker, you know, stuff like that. So in a world still uncharted, humans have survived by developing the steam technology that has guarded them from the primal nature of the world. The Club Van Fleur was founded to gather the brightest minds that humankind can produce to help them both explore the world and create technology in order to survive it. But the club is currently in disarray. Once the founders, the Van Fleurs, died in the final battle against the blazing flames Emperor's desperate attack to the Iron Capital. Now, her only daughter, Julie Van Fleur, the youngest and brightest member of the club, is set with an impossible task: live up to her parents' incredible legacy and be the leader of such a prestige club while dealing with the political consequences of it. No, I think that's a decent rationale. We think that's a decent rationale for the world, like the graphics for the Sedgeways, the world, and that. Very nice. But a conviction, an artist with conviction. We like his black and white stuff, but his color work looks all right there too. Interior. Now you get to see Jose Garcia really stretching his wings here. Here we see the world. You've got a sky view. You've got the city. You've got almost like this steampunk technology in the background. You've got airships, that kind of Victoriana, yeah. And you know, you've got the landscape of rocks. And we wonder actually if Jose Garcia is using part pencil, part inks, part computers, part 3D models, or using reference. Whatever he's doing, it looks absolutely gorgeous, you know. Good reference at the very least. We like the way he's got that little bit of a white outline making the airship pop as it comes towards us. It's very sweeping. It gives you a sense of establishing the world. You get the world straight away. We're not quite sure what's going on here with the middle panel, but it looks intriguing, almost like mystical priests, you know, by order of the stars and cosmology. We like that. It's intriguing. And we're guessing this is Julie Van Fleur, part of that, shall I say, almost a royal family, yes? You know, a queen in waiting, shall we say. She looks like she's a killer. I'll tell you what, we're glad you like this one, Bear Martian. You've got to give it. This is almost like the kind of thing you get from some like Games Workshop, but somebody in the comics is doing it. Yeah, you got to say his style. Big eyes, manga big eyes. Look at the intricacy on the machines, the lab setup, the chemicals. She's got her goggles on because, you know, ladies can do stuff as well, of course. You know what I mean? It's very progressive. You know, you've got a strong female lead. She's only 14, but she's 14, an old head on the shoulders. She's 14 going on maybe 18 or 21, maybe even older than that, you know. She's had to cope with responsibility and a long hours routine and get on and try and fight the fight that we all do daily. It isn't, yeah, his art style is mint. So let's go to the next one. We'll press on because we don't have Josie here with us because he's at a convention, we think. So interior art, Club Van Fleur, Volume 1 tells a story about a war between humanity and the unknown. And that's it, isn't it? It's between humanity and the forces in the world that we don't know, that we can't see, or that are held slightly beyond the periphery of our vision, whether that's in a spiritual world or the physical world. Yeah. Set in a period after the great wars of technology versus the elemental kings. And you can see there, just obviously that looks like a pre-visual of pencils before they've been inked. You can see there that Jose works things out. The level of detail there, we call that meticulous exactitude. That's what we call that. Interior art. We follow Julie Van Fleur, a 14-year-old inventor who has inherited the position of leader in a renowned club Van Fleur. We've said that before. We'll say it again for anybody coming halfway through the stream. The science and arms department of the Iron City after her parents passed away in the war. And it's quite sweet. She's got a pet dog there. And we've got Julie Van Fleur. And that looks like it might be her version of Alfred, a butler, yes? It's very stylish with his long hair and probably a silver tea set. And we look at the backgrounds, folks. Just look at the backgrounds, it gives it a sense of weight and elegance and a strong, straight away you think, steampunk style setting, that kind of Victoriana. You already realise she's a royal daughter of a royal family. Yeah. Right then, interior art. Julie is determined to protect her parents and the club's secrets from the never-ending crusade of the Valkyrie Queen against the world. Two lovely bits of artwork there. Unusual, elegant, manga. We call that almost like a kind of fusion European come manga. Very much a continental fusion with manga. And it stands out. Jose Garcia could probably sell that in Spain, Italy, or France. The two big markets in Europe are France, first of all. We only know that because we've been to Angoulême in our time. You had 250,000 people over one weekend, and we were there with a classified project. And yeah, you see this one here. She looks helpless, the big expressive motive eyes, and just that's a montage of emotion, isn't it? Beautiful stuff, Jose. We hope you're having a good time selling some books at that convention. Hopefully get some money coming in, because indie creators live or die by the sword, as all artists do, of course. Moving swiftly on, interior art. Meanwhile, away from the Iron City, on the isolated wastelands of the abandoned city, is an abandoned city which has survived the war. Pipe Town. Well, if you're going to have a rich setting, you've got to have a poor setting to counterbalance that in your cosmology, so people can identify with the storyline. There has to be established settings that create a kind of emotive twist, and contrast. Pipe Town here to young geniuses named Terry Von Geer, fully enough, and Julian Junette are about to have a life-changing event after one of the regular sieges targeted at the borderland cities by the army of the Emperor of the Burning Flame. Thierry and Julien fight for their lives and for the forgotten people. Let's try that again, movie voice. Thierry and Julien fight for their lives and for the forgotten people of Pipe Town. Let's move on. Interior art. Here are the characters. You can see they've just been mentioned, Thierry and Julien. And just look at the characters up front. It's up close and personal, isn't it? Those big eyes. And what we like with the eyebrows, they actually come off the heads. So it's almost like breaking the fourth wall of a character. They're not actually stuck to the skull. And we like that. That's his expressive, unique metaphor or symbol or motif of what an eyebrow is. And it's manga, but that almost traditional cartoon style from the 50s and 60s that Warner Brothers used to do. We like that. And then with the backs to the audience, you're not supposed to do that when you're on the stage in theatre, but here it's a device for you to actually be standing with them and go into the actual landscape. Very clever, Jose Garcia. Interior art. We call that, in cricket terms, four. It's going to hurt in the morning, son, if you're on the receiving end of that pipe. Yeah. It looks like he means it too. His mouth's open. It's quintessential manga, isn't it? But there's just that bit of continental elegance. Here we go. We've got some interior art. What do you think about that, Tim Olsen? Bermarchand, Dark Side Comics, who've had a name change. I mean, what do you say to that? Well, we'd call it meticulous exactitude, and it really establishes the landscape and the world of steampunk in Club Von Fleur. It just exactly. Interior art in those long wolf and baby carriage. Got that wide screen kind of Japanese classic wide shots. Like some yeah, almost like a movie language, that isn't it? Establishing shot, people reacting, establishing shot of the devastation, and then the people are all looking at the devastation. You can see on the expressions on the face that they're feeling it. And if you can show your characters feeling it, maybe your audience, maybe your readership will feel it too. It is nice, Bermarchand, isn't it? It's got some elegance there. It really has. It's excellent, really. That it's already you start to feel for the setting and the characters. Twin pillars. There's no point having a super detailed setting if you can't relate to the characters, and vice versa. If your characters have got all the emotions of the world, but the setting isn't convincing, they go together as yin and yang. You've got to have both. There's a debate on X about that. We thought there isn't really a debate. You've got to have both. Hey, John Long is in the chat. The current weighing in at 800 pounds, exploding the chat bomb from last Sunday. Hard to believe, John J. Long, that it's been a week since you blew up the 5 pillars storytelling. With it crashed in at 3rd place, quickly at 2nd place with the 2nd most views, and then went past our previous view record holder and has almost doubled it now. We think on about 150 plus views. So great to have you in the chat, Jalen. Thank you for joining us. We know we're going to we plugged you earlier. We're going to plug you again because people react in the chat. We want to make it interactive. We know we're in this boat, this indie boat together, and there's going to be choppy waters. We're going to push that Sicilian boulder together, shoulder to shoulder. Yeah, the artwork is beautiful. It's very elegant, isn't it, John? John, heavyweight long. He gets free web comic at Global Comics. It's heavyweight, swirling conspiracy with gold-blooded boxes, and the action is nose crunching. And you're right, Bermarchand. It's mint, and it is nice. We are supposed to be backing John Long's indie comic. We had a bank alert. It's just a security thing. So we kind of rang them, put in all the details on the voicemail, the text mail, all that business. And we think finally we managed to order some stuff off Amazon after getting our card declined. Got it reinstated with Amazon. And you, John Long, you are next, brother. Yeah. So don't worry. And we're looking forward to receiving an actual paper comic because, as we know, we talked to Bermarchand and Tim the Passion Olsen. And we don't mind if you kind of multitasking, watching and doing the housework and doing different things, or maybe doing art. Most indie comics are doing 7 days a week and up to 10 hours a day. I mean, if you've been doing it for years and making a living off it, that's what you're doing, And so yes, the artwork is beautiful indeed. Oh, well, here we go. Bermarchand says, John, you're at 151 views to date. If you wait a minute, what's 78 plus 78? That's 140, 156. You need 5 more views to be double our 2nd place most viewed. 5 more, and you'll double the previous first and currently 2nd most viewed video. That's not bad. So it was your first time, John Long. You and your family, and your particularly your wife, with you on editing and the accounting. That's a big support for most indie comic creators. Can handle the art side of things, but just to have somebody support you. Listen, when guys go into your lives, ladies, they don't want to take away independence. They don't want that. They don't want you to follow them either. It's about that equilibrium of meeting about halfway. You know, work forever till you drop. That's your choice, your independence. No guy wants to take. We grew up with ladies. Guiding Star worked 3 jobs. So Ladies have got choices today to do as they wish, and we feel very strongly. We've had some lady creators on the show. Azad, a great artist photographer. We spoke to her through Tehran, from Iran. So we spoke Persian. We tried to meet her halfway, and most guys will meet you halfway, or even go over the line if you're under duress or in need. So it's all about that communication, isn't it? If a shell falls in your head, go and help them out. Before you know it, you can be husband and wife. Just saying. So 150 watt, you're useful to have around there, Martian, helping with our research on our reconnaissance. Here we go. That card security thing happened to me too when I went out of town. Okay, J-Long. It might just be, there's a lot of hacker activity on the web. You look at X was getting hammered the other week, and we're sure we picked up a dyslexic fingers from touch typing in X. It was slow, buggy. We couldn't get a private chats or DMs. We couldn't actually get the main posts up. We couldn't see our follower numbers, creative leader followers. We couldn't. It was timing out, and we had to log out, re-log in. I mean, probably the worst. Obviously, X isn't towing the global, say this carefully, geopolitical line. So it looks like it was tag teamed in terms of to try and bring it down. But it looks like the world's richest man. We don't care about his opinions, but what we do like about X is you can speak to people very directly and succinctly. So in that way, it isn't quite as community based in that sense, obviously, as Facebook is. But actually on X, you can disagree with people. You don't have to like one another, but you can actually defend somebody else's right to free speech. You may have a different opinion from us, but we respect your right. We'll fight for your right to have a difference of opinion. We don't have to agree about everything. Those 2 or 3 things that people usually fall out about in friendships, relationships, husband and wife, etc., blah, 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 and in communities. It's usually those 3 things that break communication. I don't know, sarcasm used in anger. Good in humor, but not good to resolve a small matter of conflict. In that context, it can be a blunt force trauma weapon, So, yeah, there's a lot of finesse with communication, So, yeah, sometimes even banks do that because if there's a lot of hacker activity, they might actually just shut down the credit cards and maybe reboot their systems. We don't know. But yes, John, we hear you on our order. We'll try and see if we can get our order in tonight, Jill, and we'll try again, yeah? But thanks very much for relating to us so we understand where we're coming from when we say we tried to actually, we're in the store about 5 times. It hasn't happened yet, but maybe 6th time lucky, yeah? We'll work with you to get it done, yeah? Because what we like about you is you work with the customers and help them. I like that. We do like that. So we've got here. Still can't believe it. The short teaser is going to hit 1,000 soon. Yeah. Your teaser actually is going to be the most, almost by a factor of 10 if you count your own successful live stream. To think that was your first time, you handled it like a pro. Solid gold weighing in at 800 pounds in the red corner. Gold-blooded. We actually laughed and giggled with joy because we thought, this guy's come in and just blew everything up. And, but that's it, isn't it? You can be an indie comic creator and, you've got everything out there, but you just need a bit of a push. Somebody to say a gentle word about you and just give you that bit of support. You've got all your family that behind, but just, it might be one thing, like appearing on a show whereby the chat explodes up or, and plus, we'll push you on the show, yeah. And if you get the future issues in the tank made into paper, let's say you get 3 and 4, we're going to give you a special because your success reflected back on us. It's not about us. We say we on this show, yeah. So John, Bear Marchant, Tim the Passion, Cosmonaut Comics, if we're still around out there, probably doing the hoovering or making pancakes for the lady friend. Hey, guys aren't so bad. Sometimes get a bad press from the mainstream press, but it's usually just a few bad apples that actually cast a bad light on the rest of us. We're not so bad, and you can see it in indie comics. What we like in indie comics is that the ladies are making their own indie comics. Hey, you've got an indie comic, ladies, come to us. We've got 3 promos, 1 running today. Sunday Indie Comic Promo, the 5 Pillars of Storytelling on X. Yeah, we've actually moved over to Facebook and Instagram. We're not quite there yet. We're learning how it works. Instagram tortured us because we didn't know how it works. They want 3 posts a day, morning, afternoon, and evening. Okay, we'll do that. We'll work with them. Yeah, and maybe just make it more visual like Instagram is. Facebook, a bit more forgiving, owned by the same parent company, of course. And we've still gone in there modestly. Yeah. And tentatively, so we've made a few posts, but when we get the hang of it, it'll probably be on Facebook and Instagram, probably morning, afternoon, and evening. We've managed to circumvent the 3 to 5 post system on X because there's a subtlety in how you can not game the system, but make your posts more efficiency. So you get all the details. Instead of posting all the detail in 25 posts, what you do is shrink the gate and try and put the detail into 5 posts with additional posts within the post are almost nested in them. So once you get good at using a social media system, you can find ways around the rules or the community guidelines that hit you with a vark and then don't tell you why you were varked. You just disintegrate. So you're helping the platform with free content and turning up and working for free, but they punish you for it. But anyway, we have a positive tone in the show. So yes, John Long, that your teaser is blowing up. If it hits 1,000, your short, YouTube short, your Facebook short, your TikTok short, hopefully you've got it on everything, yeah. And we would say to you, you're going to be 10 times more popular than your live stream, which itself has set a record. We think, Jay Long, you've given us a clue. Yeah, we don't know everything. We're not the font of all knowledge. We know some things because we've put together 9 business plans and we've watched this community and supported it for 2.5 years. So we know some things. As Socrates would say, we know nothing. That's our level of humility. So when we have guests on the show, the creative leaders on the show, we think John Heavyweight, weighing in at 800 pounds worth of gold blood Long. We think you're an expert. Now, another thing, it looks like Jay Long has connected with Sarah Grocott, very impressive 5-star business mentor, positive, loads of energy. Sarah takes things from an outside point of view. She's not a comics person. She has an outside look at indie comics. So we gave John Long, Sarah Grocott's contact details. She's available on navigate.com if you're an indie comic creator and you want that extra insight, because let's say there's 10 million people in the indie comics community. Well, there's 4 billion people online and most of them are outside comics. Do you see the possibilities? Mind-blowing. But you need to have the game plan, the business plan to balance your creativity, to take that touch-like moment of the firework exploding. For example, do shorts. So we've learned from John Long, do some shorts of the other creators to push the numbers of a site up, the viewing numbers of a site up. So we, instead of being at 137, which is good for us, our first target was 1, 5, 10, 25, 50, 75, 100, 125. Those are the numbers. We've drifted past 125. We're on 137. Okay. But really, the next number we're looking at, you know what it is, don't you? 250. Yeah. Then 500. Then 750. Then 1,000. You need 1,000 to get monetized. We're not overly worried about that, but you need 1,000 to get monetized. But you also need 4,000 watch hours. So the more followers you have, or creative leaders, and fans and people who are into different parts of your show, we give you a choice of art, comics, movies, games, and toys. We're going to do the movie reaction videos to try and reach a different audience. Yeah. So it's niche, but it's an umbrella of niche. What's the niche? Storytelling. So it's a broad niche of niches. But art, comics, movies, games, and toys, all the eyes of those needles are threaded with a golden thread. So hopefully that makes sense to you, thinking, Azrael, you're trying to do too many different things. No, we're just trying to do one thing, storytelling. Now, do you see? So yes, we're going to do more shorts. And I'll tell you what, next time Jay Long wants us to host a short, we'll do that again. So hopefully, fingers crossed, Jay Long, you will get to that 1,000 mark view. Let us know when you have, and we'll give you a shout out on X. How's about that? We'll push heavyweight. We'll push your short and heavyweight at the same time. So you get to 1,000. Let us know in our DMs, and we'll retweet your book, or maybe even give you some late night indie comic big love, and have your short and your heavyweight comic overnight with a link to your website. Yeah, how about that? And then we back your book, and maybe we'll wear a t-shirt and advertise you as well. Maybe instead of wearing a nice Japanese t-shirt, we'll wear it occasionally. You know, we're going to work out as well. But perhaps we'll actually have people who want to, I don't want to say sponsor the show, but if you've got a t-shirt you want us to wear to promo your book, maybe that's something we could think about as well. You know, maybe for people who are back, they might say, "Thank you very much for helping us and appearing on the show." And you know, what will we be? What will we be? We'll be a walking billboard for sandwiches in New York. That's what we'll be. Oh, wait a minute. Burr Martian's got another comment. So yes, Jaylon can't believe how everything blew. He's in a state of shock. He's like, what happened? We'll tell you what happened, Jaylon. You did. Your wife did. Yeah? Yeah. Your artist did. Yeah? Your family did. Your friends did. We all did. Yeah? The people in the chat who support you with nice, positive comments. That's indie comics, isn't it? That's the community at work. We can be our own tribe, and we can be a tribe of tribes. You don't all have to agree. There's going to be a bit of friction as we bump shoulder to shoulder as we go for that wild plot of land at the wild frontier, the indie comic plot of land at the wild frontier indie comics. Yeah, that's all right. We can have friendly rivalry. Why not? But Martian, when one thing goes viral, it will have a knock-on effect to other content, and next thing, your sales go up, your subscribers go up. As night follows day, Burr Marchand, as night follows day, absolutely. So there's a knock-on effect, yeah? And obviously, the bigger your number base, the more likelihood, the more dice rolls you have of getting a 6 in old Monopoly dice roll terminology, yeah? So the more dice rolls you have, the more chances. If you're rolling 1,000 dices, one of those is going to roll up 6, maybe more than one will roll up 6, and then it'll go viral, if you understand what we're saying, even though we speak somewhat archaic Azrael language. Excellent. I'm going to put in the chat. John Long, we are thrilled that you are in so we put here in can't believe it mode. We like typing in the chat. It's a way of getting involved with it, you know. So can't believe it. Yeah, why not? I mean, yeah, you were good value. You were very charming. One of those shy guys, low key, but quietly confident kind of guys. Modest, but I tell you what, the numbers speak for itself. And the gratitude you had in that show, we think one of the graces is gratitude. Please and thank you in old-fashioned language. And what's a gentleman without good manners? And to be honest with you, any gentleman worth the salt will always relate to a lady who has grace. Doesn't matter if a lady kicks your head in or gives you a lash by the tongue. If you've done something wrong or she thinks she does something wrong, as long as it's done with grace, us guys don't mind being told when we're out of order, even if it's only misunderstanding. You know what I mean? Hey, those guys can take it. Yeah, if we're stoic. Yeah, you get us. So yeah, we've put Jaylong's comment in. We haven't pressed send yet. We're thrilled that you're in can't believe it mode. Yeah. We would say to Jaylong in the chat as well, we've got somebody in the chat. We like him. He's our battle general. We'll chat to him in a minute. Jaylong, we are over the moon that it's taking off for you. Great, humble creator with quiet confidence. You know, he's doing all the right things. He's got his website. I'm not sure if he's got his newsletter. He's on Facebook and Instagram and he's on X. You know, he's not bothered about the politics. He's not doing politics and religion. Get rid of that. Put it in the bin. They're all owned by billionaires who won't wait behind you to catch that train. Just saying. You know, Internet 2.0 is a honey trap, but we must use its tools, which it's given free. It's not free. We are the ones being monetized. Yeah, just saying. So anyway, here. So yeah, Jaylong, where looks like we're put the apostrophe in. Right, we're make your choice, Azrael. Jaylong, we're over the moon that it's taken off you. Great, humble creator with quiet confidence, super family, loyal wife, and friends. who are as rock and foundation, sir. Foundation, sir. Well done to you. Yeah, you see, you picked your time. Do you know, I'll be honest with you. Jay Long's coming into our indie comic promos Sunday, Wednesday, Friday, and he's consistent. And that's what that energy and that consistency, that's part of why we give out open invites. Creators don't have to accept them. We're offering out the hand of friendship like this. We're on camera. Yeah, here we are. We offer out the hand of friendship. They can accept it, not accept it, or brush it away. It's their choice. You know, we've sent out about 5 or 6. We haven't had replies. 1 or 2 got back and said, sorry, we're too busy. You know, it doesn't matter. We're not worried if they, you know, there's no ill will or something. You know, people can only do things if there might be a convention. There might be time zone differences. You know, time zones between, you know, Britain and the Americas, you know, there could be mix-ups in communications, you know. Even if you think you schedule it in your iCalendar, you can have changing of the time zone America, time zone Britain, daylight saving hours. But we would say communication, having that support, having that family behind you. They're not thinking that Jay Long was doing a comic. Back in the 90s, maybe somebody think you're off your rocker and, you know, it's just my husband having a little play in his man shed. No, his wife right there, she's doing the accounts and editing. She's got his back, but she's not behind him. She's side by side in the battle. All his family and friends are. They're the foundation. Yeah, they're like his rock of Gibraltar. They're like his rock, ancient rock of time behind him, you know. So, you know, we can make up for one another's weaknesses. Let's say Azrael's got a weakness with accounts, you know. We'll either do it ourselves, maybe one day somebody will help us with them. But we'll get an accountant just to get her back, perhaps would be a good idea, we think. But we think Jay Long, we can't say enough good things about him. Maybe that t-shirt one day, John, we'll do it on the show, yeah? So hopefully that will go into the chat. Hey, we got in the chat tonight. We've got Battle General Crenshaw. Hello, brother Kyle. Hello, chat pals. We will say in the chat as well. Hello, Crenshaw. You see, even though Garcia isn't here, he's at the convention, we're still going to support him, yeah? That's just what we do. We're going to go, hello, Crenshaw. We're going to do even better than that. We're going to go, hello, Battle General Crenshaw, because he's a regular of the show, friend of the show, as we call him. And what we like is he has insights from the chat. He supports other people in the community. You know what I mean? He backs books. He does great reviews. He's like the Richard Burton of indie comic reviews. He does this lovely kind of like elegant scrolling, you know, like a scrolling tapestry. Probably using, I don't know what he uses. Is it TikTok or something? Come on, Crenshaw, share your secret with us. We're going to do reviews soon. We don't think we could do them quite like you. We're going to have to do ours slightly differently. We don't think anybody will beat you at Indie Comic Reviews for a minute and giving an overview of the book in that lovely voice he has. You know what I mean? It's movie trailer voice, kind of thing. But, you know, he's got just a right amount. He's vinyl versus digital. He's the vinyl records of Indie Comic Reviews. Hopefully that comment resonates with you, Crenshaw. Right, Shell. So, right, let's move on. You can see here movie language for the interior art. Don't worry, Josie. We're going to promote the heck out of this. Right, we're on slide 22. We're getting through it, you know, folks. No, but if people are turning up to listen to us, we're going to chat with the chat. That's the whole point. That's another thing we're trying to learn how to do. Recently introduced green screen chat for our creators to make them comfortable on the show. We did that for Roberto Villacarva. He's the best kept secret in indie comics as an artist. His book is the best kept secret, Voyager, with Santullo, the writer, in the indie comics community. It scooped five pillars of storytelling recognition awards. Check it out. Go to Roberto Villacarva on X. Look at his Kickstarter for Voyager. You know, we've got all 3 issues. It's 3 of 6 so far promised, yeah? And we say, we're not chewing gum. That we're still with our new health regime. I think our body is starting to cleanse its sinus. So half of our head still feels underwater. Kind of feels like that when you're talking. We're just kind of making sure that we sometimes will pause just to make sure we take a gulp and make sure we're understood. But look at this interior art from, I mean, gosh, from Jose Garcia. I mean, that is something, isn't it? Looks like is that a crashed plane? or like a seaplane. It looks very nice. It's the civilization that was there before. It looks like some mega nemesis. Is that some kind of mega nemesis there in the background? Is that the creature that's laid waste to the steampunk era? Is that what they're fighting? Looks like it could be, like almost like the Godzilla of Transformers, if you take our hybrid description. Just look at that. And a bit of bokeh, is that? A bit of bokeh highlighting a lens flare, just emanating right across the middle. We do love bokeh, by the way. This is lovely Japanese photographer, one of our followers actually, and we really connected to them for the work. Beautiful roses, models, ladies, Japanese ladies, and in the winter snow and seasons and the flowers, and always a bit of bokeh dancing around the image. Just beautiful. And we'll have to, if anybody wants to know that, we'll link you to it in our DMs. Just, I think something at Thor something. And I tell you what a photographer, which photography is an art form in itself. As we know, we're featuring Azad from Iran. She had a translator, friend with her, and we spoke some Persian ourselves and helped with the translation in the presentations that we do for creators. Putting one of these presentations together usually takes about 2 hours. Yeah. Oh, here we go, Crenshaw. There were comments from Battle General Crenshaw. Let's use a bit of baritone. Well done, carry on without the guest. I couldn't manage it. Crenshaw, it is our immortal duty. It is our immortal calling. We must obey. We must follow. Guiding star. Always. Forever. You're good, like Crenshaw. You're one of the decent guys out there. If anybody says guys are bad guys, we'll just point them towards Crenshaw. Say, that guy's a gentleman, a decent guy, just trying to do his best, quietly, supportive, doesn't get involved in any drama. And even when there's a little bit of drama, he kind of does a very diplomatic thing. He has a lovely manner of just saying something supportive. He doesn't think the worst of people, put it that way. He's very positive. We love it. We love it. Yeah, we've got a lot of time for Crenshaw, and hopefully, you never know, Crenshaw, we might do a bit of cross-show pollination and we can talk promotion on your show. Maybe see if we can get your viewing numbers a bit high. It's just a sort of thoughts on the occurred to us. Maybe we could do a Crenshaw and Azrael team up. A team up for the ages. A reckoning there will be. Can the time continuum cope with Crenshaw and Azrael fighting side by side against the forces of darkness? Oh, sorry, we were just getting a little bit ahead of ourselves. Just know what it's like. Crenshaw FAO, as Queen sang, the show must go on. Absolutely. A Mega Olympian song from a Mega Olympian band. Oh yes, immortal. Queen will endure forever. Forever. They will be in the stars. Even though the gods may be forgotten, the stars will remember them always. And if you like anything like my pastiche of that quote, go and check out the end of Clash of the Titans, one of our favourite movies, which we'll do a reaction video to that as well. So that's 3 suggestions we've got. And Laurence Olivier Zeus really rocks that ending quote. It's one that gets you right here and here, about there and there. You know what we're saying? So yes. Oh, here we go, Crenshaw. We just turning it on now. Here we go. Club Van Fleur is an incredible looking book. I've had to choose the digital tier, same here, for a lot of crowd, because you, like ourselves, you do a lot of crowdfunding books lately, but in this case, he had to get the physical copy of Josie's beautiful art. If we were at Josie's convention now, we would probably go, he'll probably try and stand and give us a sales pitch. Well, no, thank you. Give us that book. We're buying it right now. Yeah. We'll consider what was the shipping like, Crenshaw, in the States we couldn't understand why you went for the paper copy. You had to choose the tool for a lot of crowdfunding books lately, because we've done a lot of that as well. But sometimes the call of a book is so strong that you want the physical copy because it's that tactile, visual feel and smell. Smell, we can make a joke about smell, but to be honest with you, Peter Sametti of Alterna Comics, we did that interview. He's currently weighing at 78 views. Alterna Comics been in comics 2 decades. It was an absolute honor to have him on the show. We did 3 hours. By the end, I think we probably needed the lawyer from The Simpsons on the big window to escape, but we did try and rush to the end of the show. He said he did have to go, but we managed to get to the end of it, and we did profusely thank him. It was a coup to have Peter Sametti on the show and UK Brit royalty, Matt the Governor Garvey. If you don't know who Matt Garvey is, check him out on X. So yeah, we can understand certain books. You can't afford to them all because of the shipping. But where's actually the shipping coming from, Crenshaw? Do you know? How much was it for you, the shipping for the physical copy? If you don't mind us asking. You don't have to, but if you can tell us, we'll put your comments up. But thanks, I will put thanks for the. But yeah, Peter Smith and ourselves, we're talking about the smell of comics for about 5 minutes. You know, we're starting to giggle about it as well. Thanks for the paper comment, Crenshaw, because some books, I'll put here, try and type with a space. Some books are ... just, I'll just put it in capitals this bit, just gotta have it because of the art, yeah? So we agree with you, yeah? Yeah, let me see here. Put a second comment up. You know, it was in pesos coming from Mexico, so they have to do the figuring on the exchange rate. Yeah, we that initially threw us what his book costs how much. Then we thought, oh, it's coming from Mexico. It's a different currency. You know, you just now and again you have a oh yeah moment, yeah. So yeah, well, yeah, perhaps you can DM us in X sometime and let us know on the postage. Because tell you what, if it was reasonable posting from Mexico, we'd probably go for the paper copy itself. Maybe in the future. Sometimes we've promised ourselves, like for example, Tomb of Reckoning by Brother Dio, who is him and Star Million of the awesome the Orium Saga. The Tomb of Reckoning with the American Wealth style and Black Ops style Wolfman theme, and the Orium Saga, where is this the real life or is this just fantasy? Caught in a landslide. Or another question, did we dream it? Did we dream it? The Orium Saga works on so many existential levels. We consider Robert Vicarver's Voyager, Tomb of Reckoning by Brother Dio, and Star Million's Orium Saga. Those 2 latter books that were mentioned are the yin and yang of indie comics. Those, all 3 of the books mentioned, that would give 3 plugs for shout outs because they've been with us since the beginning. And you know what they say, the longer the knowing, the deeper the cut. So yeah, we care. Some more than others. Depends how long we've known people, you know. That's human nature, isn't it? Trust evolves like flower, sprout that you water over time. Yeah? And different cultures are different. And that's where communication is king. Don't let it fester. So Crenshaw, you know it's in paces. Yeah, we'll find out later. So yeah, Crenshaw was like, thanks to the paper comment, Crenshaw. Some books just got to have it. What was the last book we did that with? We had him on the show, Arvid. It's the Battle of the Crow, and it was so gorgeous. £10. We thought 20 quid shipping. Don't care. 30 quid. Give it to us when we're having it. Well, as soon as we can, please. But I tell you, we even got his name wrong. We called him Arvin. We had to go back and edit the show details afterwards. Obviously, we couldn't edit the whole video out with the AI voice. But he was very gracious about it. He was very gracious. He said, honestly, Azrael, we'd be called far worse than just the 5 things. With, oh, I see. Well, as Azrael himself has been called a great many things in life. So yes, no, Arvid he was great himself, master of ceremonies, and what a charismatic guy. His cutting edge fantasy in indie comics is blowing the doors off the van. That is polite speak. You know which movie we're referencing, because we don't do the naughty words on this show, you know. Oh, here we go. What's this one here? Shipping was 200 pesos. Oh, thanks, Crenshaw. About 10 US dollars. Only 10 US dollars. Ah, but that's not British. That's not international shipping, is it? So that was good for you. You could do it quite easily then. So for the comic, it was right. So what did it cost you in total? Was it about $20? 15, $20? So maybe $10 for the comic and then $10 for US shipping. So for you, it was doable. Yeah, for us, that would have probably gone up maybe 20 plus. Actually, it would have cost us about maybe 30 quid to get it from Mexico then, just guessing. Because often what happens with books coming from Mexico, Canada, and America, you're looking at almost 3 to 1, the actual original copy. So you're looking at 300%, aren't you? You're looking, so you're going 10, 20, 30. So really, it's 30 quid, isn't it, in total? So you're spending 2/3 more than the actual book. Yeah. But yeah, I'm glad you got a copy of it. We'll still consider going paper. That's what I meant to say about Brother Deer and the Super Reckoning. We've sent him a private message saying, put aside, because we've got the digital copies of 1 to 3, put aside copies 1, 2, and 3. And when you do your new one that's coming out soon, issue 4's on the horizon, you want to come back on the show and promote it, put aside 4 paper copies for us. He said, it's already done, brother. And the trade, and we'll actually go full paper backing next time. With that close to Brother Deer, some people, you're that close to them, just something connects. You can't explain it. It's fate, it's kismet. Through time and space, two people can connect, and it's magic. It's rare, like dragon's teeth. That's all we can say. You can't explain it. Mere mortals are we. So yeah, Crenshaw, you've got good taste. Oh, we're no longer on screen. Has the stream run out? It is, Jose. Let me just say, all right. Are we on stream now? Are we on the screen now? Can you see us now? Sorry, we're lingering on that artwork, weren't we? So yes, US shipping is about $28. There you are. We were just getting into the voice. Actually, it's quite difficult for us actually looking at ourselves. We don't like actually looking at ourselves in the mirror. So we're like thinking we can hide for a little bit. You might think that just because we're on a show and we appear super confident, but you can still be shy. To various degrees. I mean, we learned over the years to project our confidence. But we're just saying our natural state, we're quite quiet person, shy and modest, you know what I mean? But you know what I mean? We're back. Thanks, Bear Merchant, for being our technical check, and Crenshaw as well. There you are. There you are. Oh, wait a minute. We've got these ship. Now you're visible. Crikey. We've got folks, we got called out for being visible. We don't appear rude. Of course, we just got carried away by the artwork. We just put it up full screen. So yes, we are visible. There you are. And yes, our apologies, Jose Garcia. It's not actually Josie. Speaking of mispronounced names, Jose is meant to be pronounced Jose, so it's not Josie. We were actually pulled up on this a little while, gently pulled up on it. I think on X. So you realise that actually Jose is meant to be pronounced Jose because it's Spanish. Yes, they pronounce the J as a sound. Yeah, okay. We don't mind that. We don't mind being helped on the show. We're still learning about a great many things. US shipping is about $28. Right. So got you. So you're looking at sort of like best part of 20 to 30-ish kind of quid to kind of get it. Fair enough. And he said here, Crenshaw said $30 all said. So rounded up, look at $30 to get it from Mexico to Crenshaw. But paper copy, if you feel that passionate about it, you're going to do it. We did that with Matt Garvey's book, How to Create Your Own Indie Comic. Absolute blast. He gave us a pre-sale copy to actually give some feedback. We sent a private message saying, we can't tell you a thing. We wouldn't dare pick at it because you'd been doing indie comics for 15 years. And while we've been interested in comics ourselves for a lot longer and produced perhaps our own prototype, he says discreetly, for somebody who's actually been out in the marketplace for we wouldn't dare criticize it. There was nothing to nitpick about it. We felt positive about it. We just sent him on the before it went public. We in terms of fulfillment, we just said we can't call anything on it. It's full of honest, practical advice to stop you getting in trouble of like printing $3,000. Did I say like just then? That's very American of us. We would say he'll stop you spending $3,000 if you've only got an audience that's probably worth 30 or 50 over a convention weekend, you know? So stuff he's learned from through the fire of pain of trying to do indie comics himself over the years, yes? So we're now visible. The Invisible Man. Cue a John Deacon bassline, the Invisible Man Queen song, which was done in their own inimitable style from a band that were in a class of their own. Right then, let's get back to promoting Jose Garcia. How about that? Quick study. Well, actually, a close study. Love this kind of karaoke. We think one day we might do a karaoke of Roy Orbison, a saint amongst angels of singers. What song would we do? We're not going to sing it now. You think we're crazy? We'll need a couple of pints of orange juice, Guinness, if you know us very well. And maybe we could do a karaoke with Only the Lonely. But we like this here, karaoke, which shows the book's got a heart and a sense of humor. Look at the chandelier in the background. Look at those archways. And also the depth, this high contrast tonality, black, white, and grey, crisp on the front, really working those grey tonal value midtones. But look at the background, yeah? It's kind of just so elegant, but it's kind of got that, what do you call it? Like that desaturated mist of the horizon going back, you know? Hand, face, background of New York, that sort of thing. You know, the parallax of foreground, middle ground, and background, yeah? Very good, Jose. We like what you're doing here. Some of the best indie comic books, some of the best indie comic art we've seen. Absolutely beautiful. Next one. Here's perhaps a stage that's just at the pre-production stage. It hasn't quite been fully inked, but you can see here, this is Jose Garcia showing how he works it all out. Look at the detail on the tablecloths, the banquets, the glasses. Gosh, it's all here. Look at that going into that banquet hall. It is just, and the expressions of the eyebrows again, that's clearly a signature motif of Jose Garcia. Eyebrows can often be quite expressive. And we've trimmed ours at that. You know, no more monobrow for us. Right, so here, John Deacon, let's move on. So here, look at this again. Julia is obviously quite upset. It's a kind of moment of pathos in the story. We haven't got speech bubbles. But you know, if you're a really good indie comic artist, if you're from the Hitchcock school of thought, basically indie comics, really should read them, silent movies, if you're doing a job. And then the lettering is just atmosphere. As Hitchcock once said about speech, it's just atmosphere. You know, all this stuff, heart and mind, the heart and soul of a story is an experience you're receiving as you interface with reality, whatever that is. So yeah, and the way her butler is comforting her, giving her a hug. And who doesn't like a hug? Apparently, we're told that you should have one hug a day. We don't know if that's true scientific research or not. We've just read that somewhere. That's a beautiful page. It's got emotion, it's got empathy, and it's got heart. And Jose, we like that page a lot. That's why we backed it. Stuff like that. Now, Club Van Fleur is a series that has been in the works for almost 15 years. That was about the time that Arvid, who doing the Band of the Crow, has been in pre-development. I think his was actually 20 years pre-development for his, you know, for his comic, indie comic. Band of the Crows was about 20. And here, Club Van Fleur by Jose, 15 years. These indie comics are often lifetime passions. We've had some people that have been doing indie comics in pre-development movie style hell for 30 years. But it's not right until you say it's right. It doesn't matter if somebody pumps out 10 indie comics and they've got a background in Hollywood but trying indie comics. That's different to you doing it all on your own. And other people might not get you. So you might not have the support like John Long has, you know, of a family and a friend who understand. You might have to work a day job. Some people might have a day job where they can work as a security guy at night and then do the comic during the day. Some people like Tyler, Girl with the Mega Fists, which we backed, all 4 volumes, 8 weighing in at 800 pages. And he's been doing comics for a little while now, yeah? But, you know, he has a wife to support, a family to support, you know? And, you know, he didn't feel comfortable in honouring his wife. That was just his situation. Everybody's got a different situation, yeah? I mean, she's not a comic artist. She's perhaps looking after the little ones, yeah? And so he's supporting her as a parent by going out and doing, he tried to do comics full time, but he just didn't feel comfortable. Knowing when the next paycheck was coming in with crowdfunding, the payments can be very irregular, yeah? They don't always kind of even out. So what, you can have a big burst of money coming in, then reality bites that you've got to start dipping into those savings if it's all between that campaign and your next book, yeah? And we like Tyler's moxie. He can stand up for himself on X. He won't take any nonsense, and we like that about him, you know, because he isn't on X to be popular. He's got his fans that will back his books. He's got 5,000 followers, and all he cares about is the drama inside the comics. Really, the comic is almost not a side thing for him. Obviously, it is a primary thing, but he decided to go and get a marketing job. He's excellent at marketing. He really is a 5-star marketer. If you listen to his advice on YouTube, you know, sometimes the way he says it winds people up, but he's just saying, he's trying to be helpful and saying, look, you need to take care of the commercial side of your business plan. A creative plan alone, doing the artwork in a cave, isn't going to cut it, you know? So we know where he's coming from. We get him. And he actually took a marketing job so that he'd have a stable income to support his wife and his child, which we're mindful to put your indie comic dream not on hold, but not quite a back seat. But he's actually doing the day job and then doing his indie comics in his spare time, yeah? And you only need 2 hours in the morning before the wife and kids get up, or 2 hours in the evening. We mentioned the 2 hours in the morning thing because Jason Brubaker, who worked at DreamWorks, finally got to the point where he wasn't happy doing the commercial 9 to 5 and working long hours and nobody else getting the credit for it. And, you know, when you work for a corporation, they work you. It's good money in LA, but they work you. They probably worked him. Then he thought he was going to try and do animation, but as we tried to do animation MA course for 1 year, we got the MA, but we realized if you're working daytimes and night times and you're getting 2 hours sleep, is 24K a lot of money? And there's no quality of life. Your 3 circles of work, rest, and play, 8 hours each, are way out of balance. You know, getting sleep like that is going to turn you into self-destruction over time. You'll get ill or worse. And there are cases on the internet of comic artists having the heart broken. You know, people like Jack Kirby, because they don't get the fruits of their labors. Yeah. So there has to be a balance between art and commerce. And once you make peace with that, as Tyler Carpenter has, of Girl with the Mega Fist and more, we think that's his crown jewel IP, by the way. Shout out to Tyler. We might be looking at him on the horizon for the show. We'd be delighted, thrilled to get Tyler Carpenter and his business advice on the show. We might be potentially having Sarah Grocott on the show in the future. You never know. Just saying potentially. We normally don't reveal who might be coming on the show, so we're very discreet. But you know, you never know if they might appear on the show in the future. He says teasingly, curiously, intriguingly. You know, Azrael, you're such a tease. So yes, here we go. Yes, and there's, you know, comics can be in gestation hell because it's got to be right, and not everybody has a loving family and partner who understand and get it. You know, you get left on your own, and we're not sure being left on your own as an indie creator is entirely, or any creator. You know, just that bit of support of knowing somebody else is there through time and space can make a massive difference. Yeah, just saying. But because artists can be very solitary by nature, you get used to your little routine. Azrael gets used to his little routine, and then before you know it, you've almost become, how can I say it, cocooned in a way. We don't mean that in a bad way, but you learn to be by yourself. You walk in the path, the artistic path, the comic path. So anyway, there's a bit of, I don't know, we'll call it philosophy. I'm not sure what we'd call it. Probably just looking in the mirror. Anyway, Club Van Fleur is a series that has been in the works for almost 15 years. It was created as one of those older grim fairy tales. We can see it, the influence about friendship, magic, and technology. But it has evolved into a more existential, political, nuanced, not nuisance, but nuanced debate between the war of the secular logic technology versus the rational esoteric magic. Azrael used to think a bit more in the former. Now Azrael, due to the Darkness Wars, is a little bit more balanced in his viewpoint. He's going to just leave that floating there cryptically. And how did we get there? So how magic and technology are separated by that veil, we know the veil we're talking about, and pinned against each other, creating fractions and tribal wars. That got us farther away from the power of oneness. Oh yes, the power of one. Why can't we be oneness, especially in the indie comics community? Why can't we team up and do the Power Rangers transmutation from 6 to become the Megazord 1? Just saying. Why not? Whoa, wait a minute. We've got somebody special in the house. Bear Marchant. Show, don't tell. We've got Dave. Dave, welcome. Hello, Dave. How you doing? Of Genuine Comics. Some of the best, most colourful, most elegant. He's almost the indie comics version of Marv Wolfman. Quite a compliment coming for you, Dave. Yeah. Marv Wolfman, George Perez, modern iteration of Teen Titans version of indie comic superheroes. That's how good they are. The artwork is Perez level elegance. He won't say it, but we will. And anytime, Genuine Comics, Dave brings, you want to come on the show, you've got that open invite anytime you like, and we will shine a spotlight on you. It will be glittering like your superheroes. Do you hear us? The open invite is yours, Genuine Comics. Run by a genuine guy, a genuine writer, a genuine creator who treats us artists genuinely. Genuine super indie comics can't do superheroes. Oh yes, they can, and it's Genuine Comics. Yeah, Jose couldn't make it. Jose Garcia couldn't make it. He's at a convention. We caught that actually on X that he was at a convention. It might have just slipped his mind or whatever, but he might have had to prioritize money. If somebody has to go to a convention instead of coming on the show, we're not paying people to come on the show, obviously, and a convention pays. So let's say he's got a $500 worth of business today. He has to prioritize that. That's food on the table. In that case, Azrael will respect any artist's routine. It is sacred and sacrosanct, and he would not knowingly violate it. So we feel quite passionate about that. And if we thought we'd done that, we get quite angry with ourselves to the point we wouldn't want to upset somebody else's career or living. That's how they stay afloat. So, we respect that. It's immutable. It's inviolate, So Jose had to do that convention. And we say to any other artist, you know what I mean? Let's say you have to blow off the show because, you've got work to do. Most artists are working 7 days a week. 10 hours or longer, probably starting at 8 in the morning, going to bed at 10, and then they might have to do digital promotion as well. What time you get to bed? We're an artist. We are actually a comic artist. We get it. We understand. Simples. There is, so for the record, we're happy to promote him. He's getting the money in at the convention. We're still going to promote him. That's who we are. That's what we do in this show. We previously said, if a creator can't make it, we're going ahead with the show. You always put a lot of preparation into your shows, sir. Thank you very much. You know what? Dave Brink was the first person at Genuine Comics to realize this is what we do. We prepare. This one cost us 2 hours in time. We started yesterday and finished the rest of the day. It took a bit longer today, but we kind of blocked it in yesterday, and then we wanted to really go through that. That was so beautiful and so elegant and so cosmopolitan and such a fusion of Spanish, Mexican with Japanese. It's like this lovely, elegant fusion manga. I mean, obviously he's not born in Japan by the sounds of it, but he's been inspired for it and loves that. Your best form of thank you to another culture is to appreciate them and incorporate and share their culture by bringing a bit of that love into your own culture, yeah? And it's done with reverence and love and emotion, as you can see in this image here. So thank you very much, Genuine Comics. We'll just say actually thank you to Dave in the chat. Thank you, Dave, of Genuine. And I'll tell you what, one thing Dave always does, He always thinks of good comments. He's very incisive. He's he's got that. He's paying attention in the chat. He's there to support creators. Thank you, Dave of Genuine Comics, for the chat comments. When people turn up, they're using their free time. And so we like it when people take their valuable time to actually come and experience the show. We're trying to give value through supporting you guys. This is why we're here. Azrael, why didn't you do a comic a few years back and do yours first? Well, sometimes in life you have to give and earn your right and earn your place in the community. We might have plans for that in the horizon, but what of it? Hey, no problem. We like your comments. We like it when you turn up because we know you're a very busy guy. So if you've given us your free time, we're always very respectful of the fact that you turn up and we're listening to you. Even at your next, you pop into our feed. We call it the Maelstrom, the Nexus feed. And when we see your stuff, we will stop and pay attention. So that's a compliment. You know what I mean? You lead by example. You're doing it, If anybody says indie comics can't do superheroes, we're going to be by your comments saying, we'll not argue, get involved in the drama. We'll just say a positive comment about what you do. You just be positive. You can go around like Crenshaw. You can go around drama. He does it with a lot of class too, Hopefully we don't mind people actually listening while they're drawing or actually doing housework chores. You know what I mean? And, that's the whole point of podcasts. But we eventually will have these on Apple Radio and Spotify, and we'll upload episodes to, Facebook or link to them, and we'll do some TikTok stuff. What's that other one? Rumble. We're going to go to Rumble so we can be, shall I say, we've got a backup option in case YouTube goes crazy and tries to take over the Enterprise. You don't want a crazy Captain Kirk taking over the Enterprise, do you? So it's good that we have backup options beyond the 5 billionaire club who can just vaporize you because they've made up a new rule on the spot, or you've broken some arbitrary community guideline and you don't know why, as happened with us on Instagram. Is a cautionary, shall I say, situation for us to go, Azrael, where's your website? I haven't got it yet. Azrael, you've been doing the 5 pillars of storytelling 2.5 years. You recommend other people to newsletters. Where's yours? Call us out. We'll get to it. And also another thing we want to say thank you to Genuine Comics. He said about the stream preview link not being up, and we did it straight away as soon as he said. We thought actually just dumping the preview stream link on YouTube last minute, people can't prepare their day for watching it. When's it coming up? Well, obviously the preview link was going up probably about between 6:30 and 7 o'clock. But to allow people to iCal it or put it in their calendar or get it into their head or save the link, and then it will be in a place where it reminds them to come up later. They're thinking, oh, that the show has started, but I've already made other plans. So Dave's taught us something there at Genuine Comics. Actually, put out the link as early as you can for the show. You don't have to finish all your presentation stuff, but you can actually get the banner ad up probably a day ahead or even 2 days ahead. Yeah. So today it went out. The last stream went out earlier, and today it went out early still. So thanks to Dave Brink for that positive feedback. As long as it's done gracefully, we'll take it. It doesn't bother us. We're here to receive feedback. If people have got a positive comment, yeah, bring it on. So here we go. What we're doing here. Ben March says, I've done 9K on an elliptical whilst watching. Good man. Glad to see you're keeping healthy, Bear Marchant. Exactly. Absolutely. Good man. Glad to hear it. Yeah. Glad to hear it. We just started the gym this morning. Went down, did 2 glide sets with baby weights, and then did 2 sets of cast iron sets, but without any additional plates on them. We feel different already, We're not big gym jockeys like we were in the past. We've gone up to 150 on the squat, 150 on the deadlift, 130 negative chest press, bench press. But our days of the gym as our church, we just got into it too much, which took us away from our art, which is our first church. If we'd put as much time and effort into our art as we did in the gym, let's just say we'd be a little bit further along, he says coyly. Never mind, eh? But well done on staying fit. We're going to put that in the chat. Well done on keeping fit, Bear Marchant. Well, yes, some might say that the gym is a swear word there, Bear Marchant. Yes, that's what we like, people using their head on this show. We can be creative on this show. Of course we can. We like a bit of tongue-in-cheek. We like a bit of that. Right, so anyway, yes, it's existential. It's how magic and technology were separated and pinned against each other, creating factions and tribal wars that got far from the oneness. That can happen a bit on X, actually, in social media. You know, technology and magic argue one another, in a manner of speaking. Creative team, well, it's Jose Garcia. He's based in Mexico. Thank you very much for... oh, here we go. It's USB cable time. Bianca Yamakoshi, welcome back. Unfortunately, only briefly, but we're glad you popped in at all. We are honoured by your graceful presence. I'm on my way to get a USB cable. Talk later. Absolutely, Bianca Yamakoshi. We love having you on the show. I'll tell you what, you bring a bit of spark and zest. And, well, we saw other such things, probably to do with elegance and grace. You know, we like ladies on the show. So good luck with that USB cable. Hope it works out with your printer, yes? Big thumbs up. And a bit of baritone eye contact in the green light. That shows we're manifesting a bit of connection with our audience. Oh, wait a minute. We could do the baritone voice for the comment, couldn't we? I'm on my way to get a USB cable. Talk later. How's you behave yourself? We'll put it in the chat. Good. Good. We know how computers can work. Sometimes they drive you nuts. Good luck with that USB cable. Well, USB cable, Bianca. I tell you what, computers can be the bane of an outside because we've gone digital now. Some of us work traditional, some of us work digital, and some of us work hybrid in between. If you're a person that draws traditionally and scan to get it in, you need a working USB cable. If you want to print out any inks that you've done in the computer, maybe ink in the computer, maybe you ink traditional, scan it in. How can you do it? Right, you can draw pencil traditional a page on Bristol board. What is it? It's 11 by 17, isn't it? Bristol board. You draw on that, yeah. Light boxing off all your developmental drawings, yeah. Then you scan it in. Then you ink it in. We're not going to do the PS Word. We know what that software is, but they kind of AI scouting your artwork these days. So we're not going to mention the company or the software. They don't deserve the plug. But we will talk about Clip Studio. You can scan into Clip Studio and use the vector pen, right, which will work at any resolution, whether you make the artwork bigger or smaller, to create a crisp finish, maybe 600 dpi on the pencil scan. So you want razor crisp pencils going in, and then use the vector pen in Clip Studio, Paint, Clip Studio, to actually vector ink your pencils. You can do it the other way. Some artists now, that way you keep your original art with pencils to sell later. 30 pages of, let's call it a 30-page book. 30 times 100. What's that? But I'm not making any money out of the artwork. Have you got original art to sell? If you're on a monthly schedule, that money adds up over the year. Eric Larson of Savage Dragon, he's got all his original artwork from his run on shelves for Savage Dragon. Now, that's his pension. Just saying. And the cost for original artwork, even for indie creators, we had, who did we have on the show? Was it Nine Realms and the holo cover that we managed to help him get over the line with a bit of late night love, indie comic big love promo. And it was Nine Realms with Elysian Fields. His artists have got three on the campaign for the crowdfunder. There's 3 pieces of original artwork. Guess how much to go for each? Come on, chat. Oh, here we go, Bianca. Do you know what? Live by the sword, Azrael. Die by the sword. Oh, dear me. Obviously, somebody's can surprise us, even Azrael. We've got 3 hive minds. Nobody can surprise Azrael. Well, until just now, of course. Well, I guess we had it coming. There is digital. We'll try not to do a lady's voice, but we'll try and speak in a slightly softer, non-baritone voice. There is digital, traditional, and Stone Age. We wonder which version of those 3. We're not going to guess live and show because we don't get hit. There's actually 3 different. There's a trinity of approaches. So we wonder which one. Rhubarb bristly chin. Don't worry, folks. It's soft bristle. Don't worry. We're not going to cut our fingers. It's nice and soft, so we get old and we tell ourselves we're the only ones around to speak to because we haven't got our guests at that convention. No, we're just teasing you, folks. So yes, which one are you, Bianca? That's a rhetorical question. You don't have to answer us, but it's interesting that you say there's 3 types of one in the Stone Age. It can be like that. Some people don't want to leave traditional. What we say, where's our... One second. Where's our Stadler? Where is our Stadler? It's around here somewhere, folks, our Stadler. Where? Gosh, the sacred Stadler. Where is it? Panic on... We're going to have to find our Stadler. We won't be able to sleep tonight. We'll hunt it. We'll find it. Beg your pardon. So yes, the Stone Age. Beg your pardon. We were looking for our Stadler pen with Panic. It's our... We draw that. You'll get it from our dead hands. Just saying. So yes, Bianca Yamakoshi, we do have a penchant for a bit of goofy, groovy. And when we're in that groove, we can get very goofy. Just saying. So then, oh yes, good luck with that USB cable. There's, I tell you what, we don't want to say just how we feel about computer technology. Sometimes we're not a violent person, but you know, the iMac we have, it's been in danger of going through the studio light that we've still got open now. I think we need to put on some light, don't we? What colour we're having tonight for Jose Garcia? We're going to go for pink. Azrael, you don't dare do pink. Watch us go. Oh, wow, that one's a bit weird. What about that one? That's kind of rotating multicolours. Bit weird. Red? No. Green? No. Blue? That's not Jose enough. No, red. Pink. But that's his logo. That's not the colours in his book. His book's got a spot red. Spot red it is. And that spot green. It's multi-mode. Don't bear with us, folks. Technical difficulties. You see what USB's printer cable doesn't work, Bianca. Now our makeup light isn't working. It better work, otherwise it's going out the skylight with the iMac. So, but you feel that sometimes. You feel like, printer, tell you what, we'll help you with your problem, and we'll go and get a new printer. But it's not. We don't have to resort to violence, folks, with computers. We don't have to. What about that? A bit of rotating red. That looks a bit eerie. We'll keep that on for a little while. Hey, James Uncharted here. What's up? Your hop crop tonight. Was that a kind of barley reference for beer? Just saying, just asking. So, hey, Dreams Uncharted here. Dreams Uncharted. One of the best free plug on our show. You know, we back him almost every promo. Dreams Uncharted. Go and see his live stream with us. We didn't do a post-chat comment. We just said, Liquid Gold, watch the stream. He was that good with us in terms of business advice because we're not immutable. We're not immutable. We're not immutable in terms of advice. We may have 9 business plans, but this guy's doing it in the field. He taught us lots of things. We can teach one another things. We're here to learn and share at the Wild Frontier Indie Comics. We can be friendly rivals. Dreams Uncharted's business advice was so progressive. Like his books, they've got a beautiful radiance colour, exotic, almost tropical colours. They're like fruit colours. Oh man, it's eye seduction. 2 books, yeah, out. Another one's coming on stream. He's got, I think, 2 issues of his 2 books, and a 3rd book is coming on tap. We've offered him a free open invite. That means an open. If you want to get on the show, folks, it's simple. We invite, yeah. We send an invite out to creative leaders. That's what we want the show, creative leaders, yeah. We don't mind people hinting as well in replying to us in comments on X, but we'll issue the open invite. We want people who are creative leaders who are walking the talk. We don't care if they're shy and low on confidence. We'll help you with that. Robert Vircava was perhaps worried about being second language English. He was brilliant. Great. That interview was a long time coming. But we're getting back to Dreams Uncharted. His comics are free. When he posts, go to his X address. They're right there. You can read them. And goes to his website. Beautiful, beautiful indie comics, which are the stuff of dreams. You can go on a voyage. You can go in their company logo. The Voyager, the Argo kind of ship, which is the company logo. A sailing boat, whatever you want to call it, a steamboat. You know, a kind of holiday cruise through the galaxy. Jack Kirby stole the Viking longboat, and you can share in his dream. He has a very different crowdfunding model. It's progressive. Watch the stream for liquid gold growth advice. Haven't got many followers. Watch the Dreams Uncharted live show. What number was it? Dreams Uncharted. What number was it? But that's the one you want to watch. I think, was it 20, 21? I'll tell you what a guest. His business advice, forged in fire. We like it. He's just not thinking like everybody else. He's thinking about what really works. How can you get to the bigger audience that is outside of indie comics? If you get us what we're saying. So anyway, Bianca Yamakoshi is going to get her cable. See you later, Bianca Yamakoshi. Absolutely. Good luck with that. Yes, a regular and friend of the show, Bianca Yamakoshi. Gothic Noir with Dark Blade. Yes, my username is actually a beer reference. I called it. I'm a big fan of beer. Hey, Hopcrop, got a question for you. A little while ago, we actually mentioned on X that, you know, all the microbreweries that are fashionable, actually putting your indie comics next to the microbreweries beer bars on display somewhere, you know, at the beer tables and that. And that, you know, a real life team up crossover in a dentist waiting room, in a library, cut a deal with your local newsagents. A few years ago, a 13-year-old did that. We bought his book. We went past the shop 3 times thinking we're not buying that for the money it was. And then the 3rd time we capitulated. You know why? Because his passion, courage, and conviction of his cause, we had to surrender to what he was putting out there as a product. And we'll do that with any creator who can convince us they've got passion, courage, and conviction. So the idea we had about microbreweries, guess who? One of our guests, our first lady guest, actually, Heather, of beautiful book, Next Evolution, £2 each on Global Comics. The best £2 you will spend on Global Comics. Bit like a real life version of X-Men. They're called. We'll do a bit of a promo soundbite for her. Do you know what a Rager is? Go to Global Comics and find out. Care of Heather Veely's Next Evolution. So yes, team up with microbrews. Heather did. Heather actually went and did it. She's done a tour of all the local areas, microbrews, because Heather likes a bit of a drink herself, you know, in a kind of civilized, cosmopolitan way, yes. And basically, she went round. She's done a tour. Who will stock? She's doing distribution manually and building up those relationships. You know, like Project Neosis goes along the convention tour, and what do you see? People buy stuff. He takes photographs of happy customers holding up products they're proud of, which is the best kind of advertising, is customers holding a product with a smile. That's a real life situation, yeah? And his website's full of that. Posts it on X. Another guy, Kelvin Morosi, does the library and like edutainment. He does workshops in colleges and libraries with children, plants the seeds of his future audience, yeah? Probably does some signings, free comics, stuff like that. Planting the seeds back to that ageless audience that comics used to have before Captain Kirk went crazy and took over the Enterprise. Just saying. So yes, Heather Veely, full props. And she was a great guest. She got caught having a bit of a laugh and a joke because we were learning how to do green room chat, you see, and she turned up 15 minutes earlier. We thought, we can't leave her just sitting there. So we had a chat, got the guests at ease, and that got Heather Veely at ease and comfortable in the environment. We did that with Robert Viacava as well, our Voyager. And we realised that level of professionalism, we've got to up our game. When Azrael, the photographer, sent us this document of documents, about 3 PDFs of preparation, we spent all weekend and we were within about an hour of the show and we finally got it. Our response, you know, gentlemen, ladies can challenge a man. What we've got to do as stoic males is rise to the challenge, not just Azrael, but all of us. And one of those people rising to the challenge is Hopcrop And we wonder, will he actually go to some microbreweries, get some print copies actually dotted in here and there, heavy VD style? Just saying. So that was a bit of a detour of the story, wasn't it? Weirdly, you're one of the first people to pick up on it. Well, as our dentist said, you're weird, Azrael. And he said, yes, but you forgot strange and all the other words we've been called over the years. Azrael, don't bait the audience. Just don't bait anybody. It was episode 20, Hopcrop, and it was a magnificent episode. You know when somebody's giving you liquid gold, what do? When that's tonight we have to talk. But when Hopcrop was on the show, we did this. A lot. No. We weren't pouting, Bear Marchant. I wonder if you're still on that bike. Maybe he's getting some food. Oh, he says here, I'll do you on better. I have a friend who's a professional brewer. I want to make beers themed on my characters. That's a great suggestion, Hopcrop. A great suggestion. Why don't you have... Actually, it was Mike Magnola's Hellboy actually teamed up with a quality brewer, and you had a Hellboy beer. So we think you are... So, terrible pun coming up. On tap with that idea. So I'll do one better. I have a friend who's a professional brewer. I want to make beers themed on my characters. Laugh out loud. We say laugh out loud. Yes. Yes, dreams in the chat. Cool idea. We think, what do we call that? Cross fertilization. Sorry, we'll behave ourselves. Fertilization. Cross fertilization. I've always spelled fertilization right. We can't. We touch typing on hosting a show. Who knows, eh? But Marchant still here, but going to vanish for 5 minutes. No problem, Marchant. No problem. Hopefully you have a nice, cool, healthy drink from the fridge. That's non-alcoholic, of course. That will help you after your post-cycling frenzy. John Log here. Nothing but love for the 5-pillar storytelling. No problem, Jay Long. Gotta go. We'll see you soon. Say hello to your wife and your family. Appreciate them. Appreciate you. That order's going in real soon. Hopefully the banks will behave themselves this time. God bless you, Jay Long. Just put here. Catch you later, John. John, thanks for being in the chat. Yes, our gold-blooded heavyweight. It says expecting delivery once stop away. We had 2 deliveries from Amazon today. And you know what they're like? They don't knock and wait for you. They just leave them outside the door. So you have to, if you hear the sound, but we've got to go down 2 flights of stairs. I'm not trying to break our knees or fall downstairs, 2 flights of stairs, could be careful. So anyway, yeah, we'll catch you later, John. Thanks for being in the chat. Yeah. We love a bit of 5 pillars of storytelling. We'll keep pushing your book, Jay Long. We'll get that order in for heavyweight. And we say to Dreams, laugh out loud, yes, Dreams, cool ideas, cross-fertilization with the beer. It's about that. Why can't you go to the newsagent? Why can't you go to a dentist, a library, do some workshops, explain how comics are done? Give without expecting anything in return. And the universe will give back to you. Project your manifest soul into the universe. That sounds a bit woo-woo, but was it give and you shall receive? That kind of thing? Does that make sense? Well, hopefully it does. Right, what we're going to do is actually get on with this extended promo for Jose Garcia. Right, it's got the rewards for Van Fleur or Club Van Fleur. The £5 tier is the digital tier, and that's the one we went to. Didn't have to worry about the shipping. Crenshaw went for the paper tier, physical copy, and I think it was about $20 plus shipping. So it worked out for Crenshaw, $8 shipping, around about $28, rounding up $30. $30 tier, you get merch. So you've got digital, and is that a standee? Wait a minute. You get the digital copy with the acrylic standee of the front cover. Looks very nice. Tell you what, acrylic standees are becoming a thing. You don't have to get the full body marquettes. You can have a kind of nice, clear acrylic standee. We all want to know who actually makes these, because if we ever did a comic, we'd want to do acrylic standees as a kind of less expensive version of a maquette or a statue or an action figure. Yeah. But yeah, you can actually get the story as a digital copy. So you really, that and the acrylic standee is costing you $30. Yeah. Not sure if that's including shipping though. Oh no, wait a minute. You get previous awards, charm plus sticker sheet. Oh right, that's a full package thing. Beg your pardon there, Jose. You basically that you get the previous awards of digital copy, physical paper copy, so you can sniff it, yeah, folks. And you get the acrylic standee all and the sticker sheet, charm, previous awards, $30. That's pretty good actually. And $50 tier, $50 tier, you get the standee, previous awards plus acrylic standee. Hopefully we haven't butchered that too much, Rosie. Just no, man. You know, to me, we kind of made an attempt. We've gone for the digital. Quencher's gone for the $20 paper tier. Plus, you can get obviously sticker sheets and acrylic standees if you want to pay a bit more. And yeah, and then moving on to the next one, sketch cards. A thing, you know, you get custom artwork, not full 11x17 Bristol boards at $1,000 each, but you're actually getting, for the creator, they can give you a bit of original art, the taste of it, but a much more affordable price. That's the whole point of sketch cards, yeah? And plus, we love trading cards ourselves. Oh, like donuts, trading cards. So anyway, just look at all the sketch cards, man. Just, we're going to be quiet while we haven't frozen. We've always wanted to do that, by the way, folks. We'll behave. And just look at those sketch cards. They're absolute. This is Jose's raw, natural, naked pencil state. There's nothing better, folks, than naked pencil art. You know what we're saying by that, of course. Just the raw pencils, yeah? Absolutely beautiful. Let's go to the next one. So yeah, that's $20, limited to 60. So he's doing 60 sketch cards, yeah? Trading cards, sketch cards. So I have another gulp because we're still battling sinus. If you're wondering why sometimes we're a bit sound like we're chewing gum or something weird. $20, original art, random CVF of character portrait. Portraits done on ink and paper, 6x4 inches. So you're one of those, we just can't speak. Just look at it. Worth it. Get in there while you still can. Not sure if if there's still kind of like post crowdfund available to still make orders. You'd have to check it out. It's on Fund My Comic, the specialist indie comic creator, crowdfunded by Luke Stone. Yeah, Fund My Comic is just pillar of the community. And shout out to Peter Smith at Alternative Comics, who's actually on Fund My Comic at the moment. He's getting something like a 30 to 50k kind of own print setup, print on demand setup, but he's actually going to do traditional newsprint paper, yeah, and outsource the covers. So he's going to specialize in the 1 to 200 range, where 90% of all indie comic creators are. That's going to be a revelation. Affordable printing for indie comic creators. We think Peter Sametti of Alternative Comics will smash that crowdfunding. He's already over the halfway mark, and we're going to put in a donation as well for him. That needs to be supported. Between Luke Stone and Peter Sametti, you've got crowdfunding and printing supported. They're like the two pillars on a solid foundation, because they're both stoic fellas who've been in the indie game decades, decades. Absolutely. We do shout out other people a lot, don't we? Because it's not an I, it's we. Do you get it? In the abyss that surrounds us, let me wield sword of light and shine a bit of love on indie creators by just having the foundational business plan for our social media is, quote unquote, a gentle word. If you get it down to one word, if you want to get it down to one word, it's grace. Grace. Right, moving on, we're getting there now. Merch is that acrylic standee. We've talked about that a lot. That's what it looks like. Now let's just sit and admire. That's beautiful, isn't it? You've got your main characters there, cute dog, and a younger character who's got a make my day kind of gun. Did I fire 5 shots or 6? Tell you what, a lot of confusion back there. Kind of lost count myself. We'd have that critic standee sitting on our desk. We were going to go for a trailer, but we had a technical hitch. It wasn't up to our standards. We might put a promo up for him. We'll see how we go. We do promos occasionally, not every show, because we've got limited amounts of time. You know, we've got to promote everybody, so our time is at a premium. Will I like Club Van Fleur? Who's it for? Well, I think so far it's pretty clear who it's for. It's for fans of manga, steampunk, and we think that's it. Manga, steampunk. That is quite a cross-pollination, isn't it? But it's done with a cross-culture cosmopolitan style. So this could appeal to people in Mexico, in America, because manga's storming the American markets. Could appeal potentially to somebody in Japan, actually. That's the biggest comic market in the world. It's not just, they don't play at it in Japan. They're the real deal. It's steeped in every aspect of their culture. It's their culture manifest as sequential art. What we'd say is a very, very slow movie. Beautiful manga. So if you like big eyes, target audience, steampunk, manga. Anybody in France? France is big on manga. They'd probably like it. Spain, Italy. Those are your target markets. You might start off in Mexico, then go to America, then go to Japan, and then go to the European market. So that way, you're not going to end up with bankruptcy. There's a way to do an indie comic rollout, which we'll not talk about on this show just yet. We want other people to tell us how they've done it. We're not going to preach at you or issue edicts. We won't tell any man or any lady how to live their life or what to do or how to create. You've got free will, you've got your own volition of choice. And, you know, you live by the sword and you die by the sword of your choices. You know, if you want support, then as long as we're open to the universe, then that will come to us. If we have grace, then grace will be reflected back at us. If you're angry at the universe, maybe that anger will be reflected at you. If you're supportive to other people, you give value to other people, maybe that will come back to you. We don't know. We haven't communed with the cosmos per se. We're not mind readers. But the last 5 years have taught us to be just a little bit more open-minded and to give before expecting anything in return. Hopefully that will explain a little bit of where we come from on this show. So here, 3, why do you create indie comics and when did your journey with indie comics begin? Well, just looking at that cover there, that's why Jose creates indie comics. Look at it. Beautiful, isn't it? That is the answer. Everything you want to know about a creator is in the artwork. Not what time they get up and when they brush their teeth, what toothpaste do they use, kind of, or what they eat for cornflakes, kind of know. But it's a kind of an existential know who they are as a person, as a beautiful soul. That's how you know somebody. Through time and space, beyond land and sea. What advice would you give aspiring creators? And here, for the first time, we've included this artwork next to the child we're featuring in this show, who is doing their own kind of workshop or indie comic creation there. A bit of colouring maybe, or putting in the lettering, or doing their own drawings, reading a comic. And in this show, we listen, learn, and share. Now look at this. We've all been this kid as creators, as artists, yeah? And there's the fantasy and the dream, but then there's the hard work of actually doing it, which is passion, courage, and conviction. It's a journey forged by fire. And not everybody out there will be positive. So you've got to learn to take it on the chin. You know, a bit like that. Or sometimes it might feel like this. Easy now, fella. Go easy. We're just trying to express our soul. It's not like we're trying to do anything bad or anything, you know. Sorry. Hey, who we got in the chat? We've got Devilfly. Did you come in the chat just as we started beating ourselves up? Devilfly, you fucks you. Devilfly is the silver fox of indie comics. He's utterly charming from that Bronze era, passionate about Bronze era comics, passionate about pop culture in general. He's an absolute gentleman. We've been featured on the show twice. We've been in the chat on the show about 2 or 3 times. He's the most lovely, a real gentleman's gentleman. You know what I mean? He's very respectful. He's got his own crowd over there. Do you know what we like about Devilfly? You know, when you go on his show or even get involved in the chat, it's the most touching thing ever. It feels like home. That's what it feels like, home. And is it Ellie in the chat? Who always makes us a welcome over there and a few others. And he gets artists drawing on the stream while he's talking. They'll have a laugh and a joke. And he was a great guest. We got into the real personal story of Devilfly Rex Momentum. And we did the who, what, and why. What a lovely, beautiful personal story it was. He was a great guest. And he's doing his own comic on there, Devilfly Momentum. He's got all sorts of artists contributing to the book. He's doing anthologies. He's obviously got the main Devilfly character bursting out with a kind of Batman reference cover out of like this circle of paper and bursting through, you know. And that, you know, you've got the characters going through the portal, all the superheroes behind. He's got a universe of characters, all sorts of cool original art. Nobody does as much original artwork as Devilfly plus his friends. And they've got so much rocking over there. We recommend going over to Fund My Comic and checking out Devilfly Momentum. You know what I mean? Go and check out his YouTube. It's home. You can feel part of a charming family. You know, it's, you know, the support we talk about on the show. Kind of like that. You know, you don't have to self-hug anymore, Azrael. You don't have to pout and do this on the on the show. You don't have to no self-hugs. You've got Devilfly Momentum. Go over to YouTube. Go and check out his Fund My Comic. So there you go. Having a bit of fun with the Devilfly there. That's it. A pink hand and a nice blue fish. We like a bit of emoji love. Hey, got to feature that. Emojis, we're really rubbish at them. We try our best, but you know, when we speak Azraelese, Azrael as a first language, and try to use emojis, it's just a train wreck. There's so much potential for miscommunication. But Azrael, you're trying to have a sense of humor with somebody. Yeah, but you know, Azrael's the kind of person, he can say one thing, but it comes out the complete reverse. So it may sound like, hey, are you embarrassed? No, we think it's great. It's a celebration. Emojis are cool. Maybe it's because we're part Scotch and Irish. We're kind of a Celtic crazy person. But sometimes we can get misunderstood, but we mean well, you know. Don't hurt us. Don't hit us. Don't hit us. You know? So anyway, welcome back, Bear Monchant. We hopefully had a nice drink, a soft drink, of course, after all that cycling that you were doing. Welcome back, sir. Right then. So yeah, what advice would you give aspiring creators? Join a YouTube of other young creators. How about that? Buy Comics Wellsprings Comics How-To Guide. Yeah, get that. It's got all the get your parents to buy you the $100 tier for birthday or Christmas. It's got all the tools, the Bristol board, yeah, and the guidebook manual as well. That Brandon was explaining and Jade on our previous stream. And you've got all the kit you need. $100. What's that work out for the tier 6? Even remember that from last year, Azrael. You're doing well. Your memory's a bit rocky, isn't it? So we would say, what's that $100 as pounds? About what, 60, 75, 70 UK? So yeah, you could back your kid, parents back your kids, support them. If you're, it's the kind of how-to guide which even ourselves getting on back into drawing. We've been featuring some of our own art on the Art Thursday portfolio days we run now. So if you're an artist, come and promo stuff in the Art Thursday. We're running a portfolio for you. If you don't take advantage of it, you can't say that nobody promotes you. Get involved. It's there for it's free of charge. We're using our free time and support to support you. Yeah, you've got a choice. Do you want the devil or the angel? No. In indie comics, we're going to do it the easy way or the hard way. Artists often, including ourselves, will find the most difficult way possible, especially us. So yes, yes, had a bit of decaf. Yeah, if we have coffee, I think that's part of the problem when we're having trouble sleeping. Actually, we had 2 jars of coffee, not all in one day, folks, But over 2 months, and it was really disruptive to our sleep. When we were taking caffeine as part of our gym routine, our Master Yoda would say to us, or Lord Maul actually it was, because he was our mentor for getting up to 150 kilograms, a sliver of weight every weekend for 2 years. Went from 50 kilograms to 150. Not a post, just a fact. And we had an expert to make sure we didn't break our back by being crazy, yeah? And what is it? We used to sometimes take caffeine supplements to really focus on the weights. We said, don't have them caffeine after 12, otherwise you will not sleep. Just saying. So yeah, decaf, and you don't get the headaches that way as well, you know? Just saying. Right, so yes, find other young creators. Go to library workshops. Get your parents to scout. Buy the Comics Wellspring Creative Guide or the $100 tier so you can get all the stuff you need. And they recommend doing 8-page short stories so you learn the art of storytelling rather than trying some great big 500-page opus or magnum opus or some 30-page comic. Learn to work in cycles of 8. 3/8 of 24, about the size of an indie comic or commercial comic, yeah? So learning it to work in thirds of 8 with story beats, yeah? The emotion meter, you know? The kind of story mountain. Beginning, middle, end, yeah? Conflict, you know? Quest, resolution, or quest, conflict, resolution, yeah? That sort of thing. Basically, like your classic Hollywood kind of 3-act story, isn't it? Really, at the end of the day. Right, moving on. So yes, find other people who are like you. Adults, adolescents, go to colleges, go to libraries, see who's running stuff. Go to YouTube online. You've got people like Steve Rude drawing and painting, a master. Watch their streams. Watch anybody who's an artist who you think's better than you. Learn from them. You know the classic phrase, monkey see, monkey do. We've got multi-light on our rainbow makeup light, on our makeup light. And so if we're looking like we're from the Hammer House of Horror from time to time, or suddenly going blue, it's because the makeup light's doing its own thing. Right, what superhero would you be, Jose Garcia? Well, we think, Jose Garcia, you'd be Juliet, because your artwork is so elegant and cosmopolitan. We think you would be Juliet Van Fleur. There's something about her and how well you defined her as a character, as an orphan of her deceased parents. There's something about that character. It's the emotional apex of your comic. And we haven't read your digital one yet. We're looking forward to it. Right then, let's move on. So yes, why? What does Yoda would say? Why? There is no why. Let's go forwards. Bonus questions. What are your plans for Club Van Fleur going forwards? Well, to do the next issue is blindingly obvious. If we were him, we would. Next. Favorite pizza? We don't know, Jose, but we can tell you what ours is going to be. Triple or quadruple cheese? Was it Elysian Fields creator, 9 Realms? Was it Chris that said, he said, check out Buffalo pizza? It's like buffalo chicken pizza. We'll try that as well. Right now, we're about to eat our left hand. Don't worry, folks. It looks like our right hand to you. We're not going to touch the drawing hand, which looks like our left. No, we won't eat the drawing hand, but we are thinking about starting on a knuckle sandwich and working our way up our arm. So we're getting really hungry now, but we're going to move on. So favorite pizza, any, right now, seriously. Horse on bit of bread smothered in hot sauce. And no, we love horses. I've got a nice horse actually outside, actually. A lovely old fella and very serene. We often go and have a little look at him and whisper. Where can they find out more info about Jose Garcia? We're running about almost 3 hours. I think we can get right on the nose. X.com, Radtastical Core, Kickstarter.com, Projects Jelly Bats, Club Van Fleur Volume 1. Basics on Kickstarter, on X, and www.fundmycomic/campaign, blah, 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 Club Van Fleur Volume 1 on For My Comic by the Stoic Luke Stone, Indie Comic Specialty. Right then, next one. Thank you for being our spiritual guest, Jose Garcia. Seriously, we know he's at a convention. Money comes first. On a Sunday, you're an artist. Money comes first. We can laugh and joke later. There's always going to be a window of opportunity to be buddies and share our souls, our beautiful souls. We must understand one another's art. Even if you're two artists together, we've got our time window. We have to respect. We've got to, for some people, it's their living. And if you're not getting all the hours in, you've got to find the third month's rent on your flat or some such place. For some people, it's an existential fight, fighting to survive in a world with the darkest power. Cue blocking vocals and orchestra. Right then, we would like to say a massive thanks to Bear Marchand. He had a hey, about the fans. It's the fans show too, as well as the creators. Yeah, chat us as the power of one. Yeah. Bear Marchand, I had a mental health issue and was only sleeping 3 hours a night. God bless you, sir. Cut out the full fat tea. Good man. Coffee because of the caffeine. Yeah. Worked on sorting my my sleep out, and now you're getting there. Yes. And you get where we're coming from. Yeah, Bear Marchand. And we've been in that battle for a long time, not just because of caffeine, for other personal reasons we will not go into. But the last 5 years, I think we started getting some good sleep thanks to a very special follower. Hey, sometimes some followers know you for a long time. So the longer they know, as we say, the deeper the cut. And some people will just gently say to you, you need some sleep, because they've recognized the amount of times and the time zones we're working when they were perhaps thinking, hang on a minute, it's this time for us, and it must be that time for them. Why are they working so late? And perhaps we got a little bit topsy-turvy, and now we're backing away from doing 15 hours to perhaps maybe 10 or less. Yeah, because obviously at some point we're going to want to draw. And if you're not getting your sleep, you ain't doing art. No way. You know, social media and promoting for us, because it's in our veins, is easy for us compared to doing the art. Lifting 150 kilograms for the last 5 years has been much easier back when we did heavy powerlifting weights, was much easier than picking up the pencil, the Staedtler on a drawing board. So there's a riddle for you. You have to think about what's going through a person's mind when they're doing gym and not picking up the pencil. Clearly, there's an imbalance on the 3 circles of work, rest, and play. So we understand you very much, Bear Marchand, and we hopefully you're on the mental road back to good health, good emotional health, getting good night's sleep. And it sounds cutting out those drinks that may be disrupting your sleep cycle, and sorting out maybe a few other things in your life, and actually doing the sleep. Exercise is good for getting sleep as well. We did some gym, it's good for making you tired. Yeah. So we're glad you're on the road. Hey, we care about not only our special guests and our special followers we call creative leaders, but we care about people in the chat. It doesn't hurt to care, folks, you know. As somebody once said, it takes just as much energy to be gentle as it does to be rough. Sage words. 6 to 7 hours and my mood is a lot better. Absolutely. If Azrael doesn't get his sleep, we're all the same. If we don't get a sleep, even Azrael can become a doer boy. I can hear it. We haven't got the same zest, the same energy. We can't be the same person if we're rocking 3 hours sleep instead of the more healthy 6 to 7. If you go to sleep perhaps, I don't know, 10, 11 o'clock, you probably wake up about 5:30, 6 o'clock, or maybe 6:30. You know, as somebody's grandma once said, the hours before midnight count double. Just saying. But Marchand, you have been a prince and a diamond geezer. And thank you to everybody else who's been in our chat. We're going to just type that into chat tonight. Thank you to the chat tonight. You stuck with us. You stuck with us and supported us. Supporting I won't say Jose Garcia. But that's our promise. If somebody has a real life situation in which they have to prioritize, somebody might be ill, they're at a convention, they've got to go with the money. We don't care. It's a little consequence to us. Our vow, and this is proof of that vow, that we ain't just full of silver words and empty promises. If we care about you, we'll walk time and space to cross the pond and that pebble to join you in battle. Name it. What question? Name it. So, Bear Marchand, thank you once again, sir. And yes, we'll do the Highlander kind of reaction video. It's game on for that and one or two other things. Yeah. So we're just going to put this up on the chat and put it up. Thank you to the chat tonight. You stuck with us as the legends you are and supported us, supporting Jose Garcia. And that's what this show is all about. Hopefully tonight you understand Azrael doesn't make promises. He does actions. Hopefully you'll understand us just that little bit more. We work, sometimes you can give to the point of self-destruction. We've got the sleep in order. Maybe we can balance the promotional side of things with the art. And let's see what the next year of indie comics at the Wild Frontier holds in store for us all. Right, it's trailer time, folks. Add it now. Dear brothers and sisters, friends, family, ladies everywhere.